Hello, and welcome to Dyson Mimics, where, that stuff that you may have just heard before just happened. But hopefully that was before we went live, we'll see.
I think it was on the live button.
Ooh. Anyway, joining me tonight, as usual, we have Annette as Talia.
Hello, darlings.
We have Ben as Valdisian Inert.
Good evening.
We have Steph as Vienna.
Hello.
We have Reese as Blossom. And we have Aaron as Xandal.
Hi.
And as always, I am your DM, Paddy. I'm going to take the hood down now because that's getting in my way. Anyway, we have a couple of shout-outs to do before we get started and have a recap. Obviously, my first one is, as always, thank you to Sirenscape. If you don't know about Sirenscape, great resource for DMs or players. Brilliant sounds, brilliant music, brilliant anything you need, really easy to control. Check it out, it's great. For the rest of the shout-outs, over to Ben and Annette.
We have merch! Look! We have stickers! Look how cool this is! I keep... Opposite, there we go. So we have the Dyson Mimics logo. Little mimic dude. We also have pint glasses with our logo on. They're quite cute. And then we also have t-shirts! I will post a link in chat to the merch store later. That's my...
Link is already done.
There
Or
we go.
should be.
Merch.
Okay,
And I don't have any announcements.
fair enough. I don't know. You don't tell me everything, like I don't tell you everything, but, secrets. Anyway, so, to pick up where we left off last time, our party of Armatae had received an audience with Glacarex the Beholder in the ruined city of Yashvar. They were given a chance to earn the right to begin negotiations by putting on a gladiatorial combat type performance for Glacarex, battling a number of enemies including Jibbering Mowthers, a black pudding, an Oni, and 2 winter wolves. The party put on a decent showing, although Xandal did go down, as always. But that's Xandal. But afterwards, they received the chance to begin negotiations with Glacarex. And Glacarex was interested in this strange steel contraption that was accompanying the party, and wanted to know if it was possible to make more of them. When Xandal said yes, he could make more, a deal was hatched and a workshop was provided, and 5 of these steel defenders were created and linked to an ancient monolith through the use of Emily, who then also backdoored said monolith so that they would stop working. Whether that will come back and bite them in the arse, we'll find out.
Likely.
But then the party quickly were escorted out of the city, used Lestrandra's lucid diary to return their horses to them, and then ran away quickly. And we rejoin them just as they are making camp for the night. So, what would you all like to do?
Let's get to as quickly as possible. Yes?
I mean, we're setting camp for the night, so...
Yeah.
We need to be
Yeah.
away from the city first, though, right?
Yeah, you're away from the city. You guys,
Yeah.
after a solid... You left sort of mid-morning, so with a solid day's travel across the tundra, you're just reaching sort of the edge of, like, the heavy snow area. You're coming towards the forests now.
I guess we set up camp then, yeah?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
camp. Did we? We actually agreed ages ago, didn't we, that we were gonna sort of land. I'm looking at the map now. We're heading towards the Landfetch River.
Yes,
It's the lake, isn't it? We're following the lake.
Yes,
and then
you
to
were
where
going
it joins
to...
the sea.
Yes, you
Yeah.
were going to find the Landfeck River, and then follow that to where it opens
To the
into the
estuary.
sea. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to meet the
Okay.
misadventure there.
Sweet. Okay, so and you said we're on the edge of the snowy bit now.
Yeah, so if you guys headed dead south from Yashvar, you are about there.
Sweet. Okay.
Oh, where? Oh, right, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
I've stopped hurting
Yes,
icicles.
the blade has stopped causing these waves of cold to shoot through your body for now. It has receded and you no longer feel the biting cold digging into your bones.
I am still exhausted though, aren't I?
You are. You still have a
Yeah.
level of exhaustion, but that will
Oh,
go
okay.
when you have finished your long rest.
Okie doke. Yep, I'm happy then.
Okay. So, who is taking what watches, or are you just that tapped that you're just going to sleep?
Can I just say, before we start
Xandal.
taking watches, now that the pressure's off and I'm guessing the temperature's kind of like a normal cold rather than like a super frosty cold.
Yeah, it's normal cold. You're still gonna probably have to roll a con save tomorrow, but it's no longer. It will be an advantage because of your heavy winter clothing now.
Okay, I won't do what I was going to do, which I was going to get Val to go and try and do snow angels in the snow now that everything had calmed down.
I mean, there is still snow. Like the forest you're going to go through are still going to be snowy,
Yeah,
but it's not Arctic snow. It's just sort of
Yeah.
tundra and that sort of thing.
I won't risk it, but my mindset was he was going to look down at the snow angel and realise that his wings have just completely deformed the snow angel. And he's just like, oh.
Yeah, Val would have to do snow angels on his front.
Yeah.
He'll have a snout.
So yeah, I'm not going to do that, but that was my thinking at that point.
Okay.
Snowballs, though.
Yeah, Xandal will take at least one watch. Hagar will obviously be watching all night.
Yep.
I'll do my usual thing
Blossom
where I will
can
watch,
easily take a
then
watch.
Yeah.
comatose.
She took no damage in the fight.
I'm
just
completely fresh as
stunned the
well.
entire fight.
Yeah,
Other
Blossom
than
seems to
skills
do that a
being
lot.
tapped, we're good. Yeah.
I don't know whether I
Yes.
just don't target Blossom or what. I'm not sure.
Next up, Blossom.
Next one to die, Blossom.
Anyway.
I think I
So-
did die in my first combat because I just went headlong into
Yes.
And then you learn a
a
valuable.
hyena or something.
Yeah, you've learned to keep at like the edge of your whip length.
Rather than
No.
getting up close, yeah, that's probably wise.
Right. So who is taking the first watch?
I'll take first.
It's not taking
I'll
a
take
watch.
first watch.
Okay. So roll me a perception check, please.
Okie dokie. Perception. Come on, roll 20.
Oh
mean-
no.
Oh,
Nat 1, are you serious?
The events of the day,
Begins.
and you just sort of find yourself sinking into this reverie, thinking over everything that has happened and the ghoulish weirdness of that city you have just left, of all the frozen people just caught mid life and frozen completely solid. And before you know it, you're sort of glancing up and the sun has set completely and the moon has risen, and you're like, oh, a lot of time has passed and I've not really been watching anything. Nothing
Uh-oh.
happened.
Oh, crud. Do you want Hagar's roll too? Sorry.
Yeah, Hagen can give me a roll as well.
I mean, how
Yeah.
does that work? Because my passive perception's quite high.
So passive perception is more along the lines of again, it's passively noticing things.
Yeah.
It's things like just
Stuff in the
picking up,
corner of my eye or something.
picking
or
up something in the
sound, yeah.
corner of your eye, or like a sound, little things like that.
Mm.
Active perception is actively you're meant to be focusing
So
on
the stuff I
looking
was
and
trying to
finding
find,
stuff.
I didn't see.
Yes. Okay,
Oh,
25.
okay.
Yeah, Hagar doesn't seem to notice anything or indicate that anything is wrong. Okay.
Cool.
Who is taking the second watch?
I'll probably tap someone on the shoulder and be like, "Your turn,"
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna go check
I
on
can jump
Vienna
up
and
if
make sure
needs
she's
be.
all right.
Okay.
Not
But
Vienna. Yes,
Probably
Vienna, sorry.
need somebody
Oh my
else
God.
with me as well.
It begins. I'm gonna get confused.
Well, Hagar's up, so
Yeah, Hagar's there.
Yeah.
Most riveting of conversationalists.
Vienna looks absolutely fine. Like her skin has whereas before when this cold was assaulting her, there was this slight. Obviously, she's got dark grey skin. It had gone slightly lighter, but it looks absolutely fine now. She seems to be resting peacefully.
Ah, this is good. She'll probably just sit and watch her for a bit, and then she'll just zone out and go in. Inert, as it were.
Okay. Val, make me a perception. Don't worry about Hagar. We'll just keep using that 25.
Is it at disadvantage because I don't have dark vision?
Is at disadvantage because you don't have dark vision. 10. Okay. You don't notice anything untoward. You do notice Hagar glance at Xandal at one point and sort of lumber over to his sleeping form, but then sort of just seems to check him over and then comes back. You just think that's probably just, just Hagar checking on his creator.
Okay, doke.
Special.
No. Hagar's the big bad evil guy.
Xandal, in your rest, you find yourself dreaming. Dreaming about your mother. You see her sat in a study, flicking through a book. She's looks healthy, happy, and as you sort of focus into this sort of image a bit more in your dream, you see she is pregnant, and she is sort of reading from this book and stroking her pregnant belly. You can't hear what she's saying. It's odd, but roll me a perception check, please, Xandal. Okay, that's decent. As she sort of reaches to turn a page of the book, on the back of her right hand, you catch a glimpse of what, in pictures you've seen it. It's been there sort of just poking out from the end of a sleeve. And you always just assumed, and you were told by your father, it was a birthmark. And it wasn't something that she ever showed you when she was alive. But you're sort of looking at it and you see it's more of a, not so much a birthmark, it looks almost like a tattoo. Almost like a sigil, but not one that you recognize. It's odd. And as you sort of catch this and think about it, the dream just sort of seems to fade and flow away. And then another dream replaces it. You see your father, disheveled, knelt on a floor in a dark room, muttering to himself. And then he places his hands on something on the floor and a symbol lights up, looking like a triangular eye.
Illuminati confirmed.
And then your vision fades away and you return back to peaceful sleep. Who is taking the third watch?
Blossom.
Okay. Roll me a perception check then, please, Blossom. By this point,
14.
the sun is just beginning to peek over the horizon, so no problem without dark vision. 14. Your watch passes uneventfully. Everything is fine. There is just this slow dusting of snow falling down as you go around and begin waking everyone to begin prepping for the next leg of your journey. Everyone has completed a long rest. Vienna, you lose your level of exhaustion.
Oh, hang on, let me.
Confirm that. Okie dokie.
I can't remember. At the end of the last session, did I summon my horse, or was I still sharing a horse?
You summoned
You were
Artax.
sharing.
Yes.
Oh,
You're
did you?
sharing with Vienna.
Yeah, I
He
was
was
sharing with
sharing
Vienna.
with me.
He was sharing with Vienna whilst summoning.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yes.
He was,
And then he
was
summoned
doing,
it, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing the 10-minute summoning whilst riding the horse.
Happy with that.
Let's
Cool.
face it, I have no control over this bloody horse. I'm
I'm gonna say the horse hates you.
Vienna, it is at this point, as you get up and sort of prepare for the day, the dagger's cold settles back over your form. Everyone needs to make me con saves. Everyone but Vienna, make them at advantage because of your heavy winter clothing.
Can't say.
What about Xandal because of his cloak?
You are absolutely fine, Xandal.
Yeah.
Boy, am I
And
glad that's it. Oh,
And everyone is within 10 feet of Valdizian at this point, so you do get Val's charisma bonus.
Plus
so
3.
that's how much extra? Plus 3, so that's 9, 10, 11.
Yeah. Oh. 16 pass. 11 is a pass. 12 is a pass. 16 is a pass. Val's is a pass. You should have had advantage there, Val, but it's a pass anyway.
Oh, I didn't click any of them twice, so.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think you've gone before Talia and then after.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one's
So
Ert.
it's
Yeah, he did one for Val and one for Ert, but they're both
Yeah.
passes
Oh,
anyway,
right.
so
Sure.
it's fine.
Cool.
Okay.
Either way works.
Okay. So yeah, Vienna, you can feel the cold trying to press against you, but you sort of shrug it off and just sort of push
Too
it to the back of your
stubborn for
mind.
this, man. Yes.
Yep. Xandal, as you awaken and sort of get ready for the day, I need you to make me a perception check. It's not high DC. This is going to be fairly easy to notice.
Don't say that, it'll get a 1.
Mate.
even then, as you're sort of putting things into your packs, you sort of glance at your hands. You have symbols on the back of each of your hands.
What, as in sort of are they like black marks or?
You look at them. The one on your right hand is the same as you saw in the dream on your mother's right hand. This strange sigil-like marking. On your left hand, it's the same triangle, sort of A-shaped rune that looks like an eye that you saw in the dream with your father.
Curious. He just kind of puts on his gloves and just carries on about his business.
You need to
Yep.
Constantine that shit and just
Focus. He's just
Wait, no,
focusing on
wasn't that on
getting
the
back to
floor?
the ship.
It was on the forearms, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they look very different from each other.
Yeah.
One is quite evidently like a symbolic symbol. The other looks like it is almost like it has a meaning. The other one is obviously just a symbol. Like the right hand one, you think has a meaning of some kind. It looks like it has a basis in language, not a language you know.
No.
Whereas the left one is almost more like an arcane glyph or symbol.
Okay. Yeah. Essentially, just while we're trying to get back to the ship, he's just going to put it to the back of his mind for now.
Okay.
Hence, putting on the gloves, just make sure not to draw attention to himself. Put his glasses down so he doesn't look shifty.
Make yourself look as shifty as possible.
Okay. So, here's the question. Am I rolling the d20 for you, or are you guys rolling the d20?
Last time I rolled, we got a giant.
Yeah,
Someone else can roll.
I think we should, because then we can only blame ourselves.
Okay.
I
Someone
think
roll.
we should roll.
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
Shall I
roll me
roll?
a d20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either one of you.
Are you going or?
15.
Oh, I thought Reese was going to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Reese can do the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, as you guys travel during the day, after the sort of 4 hours time, you're making good progress. You've gotten out of the snowfields, and you've now started to trek into the woods. I need someone to make me a survival check. To make
May I?
Yeah. Because you have to find the river. This isn't following a compass anymore. This is now.
You say survival.
Yes, survival, please.
14?
14. Okay, you sort of look at the general topography and the nature in the area, and you get a good sense of the direct. You've seen the map before of where you wanted to go, so you've got a good idea of roughly what direction you need to head in, and you orient the party, and you think you're heading in the right direction. After 4 hours of travel, Vienna, I need another con save, please.
God, every 4
As
hours.
another wave of cold comes from the blade and starts washing over you even stronger. Oh, even with being near Val, that is a fail. That's 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Oh, snap.
I gotta remember how to do this. Hang on a second.
The rest of you see as Vienna's skin
Under
goes
conditions,
from.
I believe.
Condition.
At the bottom, it should
That's
have
got it.
levels of
Yeah.
exhaustion. There you go.
the rest of you see is, again, Vienna's visible skin under her travelling clothes goes from the sort of dark grey that you used to just slightly paler, and you can see her lips sort of thinning and getting, you can hear her teeth chattering, and she's sort of like huddling, trying to warm herself up.
Do I notice this?
You all notice it. It's not hard
Yeah.
to notice, but you don't understand why, because though it's cold, it's not as cold as it was, and your furs are helping you quite well.
Mm.
But as you continue to travel, the air begins to grow slightly warmer. But there is the beginnings of an odd odour on the breeze.
Uh-oh.
For everyone can make me perception checks, please.
Is that a smell perception?
Yes, you
I
can
was gonna
use the
say you
smell,
get
which is
advantage.
advantage.
Fuck is perception gone? Oh, there it is. Come on. Did I really roll another nat one?
Yep. Okay. So, Talia, you're just sort of like, you're too busy keeping an eye on Vienna. You don't really
Yeah.
notice anything. Val, or Ert's just too busy sort of like searching her pockets for sweets.
Mm-hmm.
Emily is just sort of like, she does nothing to correlate this with, so she's not sure. Blossom, you pick up on the breeze this scent. It's like rotten eggs. It's like sulfur and rotten eggs. And the rest of you who are like using your vision, you see further ahead, there's this sort of cracks in the frozen earth a bit ahead of you with steam slowly rising out of them.
Is it warm?
It is much warmer here, yes.
I'm just gonna like try and warm myself up because I'm freezing.
So you head over to one of these cracks and you're trying to warm yourself by the steam, but you just can't feel it. There's just this cold is just constantly there, constantly flowing from this dagger.
Well,
Are you
Might be
okay,
empty.
Vienna? You're acting very oddly.
just the cold hasn't left me. That's all.
I mean, they were in a warmer place. You shouldn't be cold. Did your furs get damaged in the battle?
And she kind of looks it over. It's like, no, I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe you're just not used to the cold. I mean, most of us aren't. I'm sure you'll warm up eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll feel better once we're back in a tavern somewhere.
Does
Shall we press on?
any of us that put two and two together about the cracks in the ground, the heat, and the steam, about what it could be, or
Anyone who saw the
Hot
steam,
spring
and
episode.
they can roll a nature or survival check, your choice, to try and figure out what this area could be.
I'm not. Talia's not really interested.
nope, nat one.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Oh no, here we
Get
go.
them all out the way. It's fine.
This is 3 nat ones so far. This is not good.
Okay. Anyone else rolling, or is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
16 again.
Okay. Val, this is like completely out of your comfort zone. You've got no idea what's going on here. Xandal and Blossom, you sort of think heavy in your mind, and you go, well, this could be a hot spring nearby, but then you sort of feel a rumble in the earth beneath your horse, and you go, oh, this is not going to be a hot spring. And Xandal, you've already come to this like thing, like you
Oh,
recognize this. This is a steam geyser field that you guys have wandered into. And by the rumbling, they're getting ready to burst.
I'm stood right next to one.
We need to move pretty quickly.
Do you sense something, Xandal? What's wrong?
Yeah, we've wandered into a geyser field.
Oh, that's not good.
No, not unless we want to be boiled alive.
I don't
Okay,
think that's on
and
my
she's
to-do
turned
list.
around
Let's
and moved.
keep going.
Yeah.
Get on your horses. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Movement
Xandal, you sort of look, and with your nature check, you can tell the extent of this geyser field. You can see if you're going to go round this, it's going to cost you half a day's travel to get round this.
What do we wish to do? If we move around it, where it's going to cost us half a day, we can risk going through it.
I mean,
It cost us our life.
The crew of the Misadventure, I mean, they don't need food. The provisions that we sent them to get are probably preserved rations and stuff. So
We're not on a
little
time
delay
limit, are we?
shouldn't.
Yeah.
We're not in a hurry
Let's go
per
round.
se. Let's
Yeah,
go
let's
around.
go
It's
round.
safer.
Okay. As you guys begin moving around, you do see after about 2 minutes after you left the field, there's just this, and you just see this geyser of steaming, boiling water shoot into the air, right where Vienna was stood.
Oh dear.
That could have been soup.
Good soup though.
We need vegetables for
Tasty.
soup.
Good soup.
And potatoes.
Over the next sort of 4 hours or so, as you guys move around this field, every couple of minutes there is just this eruption of steaming water from random places in this field.
Well, at least
But-
it's warmer.
After the couple of hours, you've gotten round to the other side, and you are continuing on. I do need another con save from Vienna, please.
I was waiting for it.
Would I be noticing that every so often she seems to go cold? Would I be able to use one of my
No, because the
Osteopenias.
cold
Is
She's
it
not
coming
said
random?
anything. She's not said anything.
Yeah, the cold is coming from the blade. Vienna's got the blade on her, and
Okay.
if the blade was out, you'd see the blade glow blue before a wave of cold hits, and the cold isn't just a wave and then it goes. It is constant. It is always there. Just every 4 hours, there's just this fresh,
And plus, that it's
intense
not
wave.
really consistent either because I keep passing and failing and passing and failing.
Yeah.
So every.
I don't even
it's
think
not
Okay.
Vienna's twigged what's happening yet.
No,
Yeah.
that's why I'm.
Okay.
Yeah, Vienna, you feel this next intense wave of cold, but again, you just sort of dig deep and just sort of shrug it off.
Hmm.
You dig into your furs and you just sort of go, no. And it breaks and alleviates just that little bit.
Nah, mate. Nah, mate.
Nah.
After another 4 hours of travel, the sun is beginning to set, and you guys can now just hear on the edge of hearing the sounds of a river.
Ah,
The sounds of a trickling beginnings of a river. It's only a small stream, but it is probably only about an hour's journey from where you're stood.
think we're getting close
Do you want to
the river at least. Then we
you
can
want to-
just follow it.
do you want to push on to the river, or do you want to camp where you are?
If there's only an hour's difference, then
How is everyone
I thought-
feeling? We can push on.
Yeah,
At least then we can follow the river the next day.
let's
Okay.
do that. We'll push on.
Okay. Whoever is leading, make me a survival check. With advantage, because you can hear the river.
I'm not at the
Anyone
front.
want to?
Who would be at the front in this situation?
Probably.
Me, probably. And Blossom.
Well,
by default.
one of us two at least, because I was leading on the way. So,
Yeah.
and if it's hearing, I get advantage as well.
Maybe,
Yeah.
you go then.
Oh, well,
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey!
Blossom, you
Nice.
I'd have probably rolled in that one.
You've received training like this, Blossom, as part of the Claret Order and the Order of the Lycan. It's very much you're used to roughing it in the wilderness. You're used to finding sources of water to camp near when you're hunting weird creatures. You hone in on this instantly, and you soon find trickling out from under sort of a number of large rocks this crystal clear glacial flow off water coming from an underground river. And you guys can see as it moves down through a gully, and you assume further on widens and becomes a large river. But you are currently sat around this beginnings of a spring.
Very nice. Well, at least we
Vienna.
got fresh water.
Vienna, last con
Yeah.
save for the day, please. Okay. Again, you feel that intense wave of cold come across you, and again, you just no, and just feel it break against your mental barriers, and you just ignore it. But then, as that finishes, and you guys are setting up camp for the night, you feel the cold flow back from your body into the blade, and recede. And you can feel the same temperature as the rest of the group again.
Okay. Oh, this is quite nice.
But yes, you set up camp, have yourselves a meal, probably using some of the spring water to make yourself a stew. Using the now you have the boar rations back after the horses ran away. Probably making yourself a decent pork stew.
It's gonna get some like herbs and spices out of her little pouch.
Yep.
But while she's sat by the pot, the boiling pot, she's gonna salt bay basically the herbs and spices
Oh
in.
god. Oh dear. Okay.
I think Art's really coming into her own as a cook. At least
Alright.
it's not salt, alright? Not sugar. I
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah, salt.
Good girl.
Yeah.
You don't
Sure.
want candies in the soup again.
I mean, was tasty.
I mean,
I think everyone has the same sweet tooth as you, darling.
No.
it can't be any worse than that curry, that very hot curry we had that time when Balasar
What
made
are you
it.
on about? That curry was amazing. I love spicy food.
But you
feel
guys,
like my taste buds are dulled or something. It needs to be really strong flavors or I can't taste it. I don't know why I did the hand motion. I'm so sorry.
It's
Like, it needs to be savory.
when dishes up the stew, she reaches into the spice pouch and pulls out what you assume is a pinch of cayenne and sprinkles it over yours, Talia, for you.
Thank you.
Spicy
The stew-
stew is very
Well,
nice.
should we be wasting rations on me? Really, I don't need it.
You can still eat, and it
No,
warms
I
you.
just mean like she gets a bit conscious about wasting food when she doesn't need it when they're trying to ration.
You've got plenty. You skinned 2 giant boars.
I know.
Yes. Who got those boars?
Yeah, well done. Well done. But yes, so you guys settle down for your rest. Who is taking what watch tonight?
I suppose I'll take a watch. I didn't
Yeah.
the last one, so.
Yeah, Xandal will take second, as he didn't last one.
Okay,
I'll take third.
all right,
And
So-
Hag is always on watch.
Yep. all right.
Always
So
watching.
Snakes
Vienna
out.
and Hager for me, please. Yep, snakes out.
What am I doing? Sorry.
Perception checks,
Ooh.
please.
Perception.
Yep.
Perception.
Oh, Hager, letting us down, bro.
Yeah.
Meh.
11.
Hello?
The night passes with just the trickle of the stream, slowly sort of lulling you into this sort of. As a drow, again, you don't sleep, you meditate when you rest.
Hmm.
So you don't drift off as such, but your mind just go into this sort of very blank state, which is relaxing. And you sort of realize again after a couple of hours, like, oh, hang on, I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on things here. But you were still keeping, like, sort of glancing around and watching. You don't see anything, but you weren't really putting your all into it like you should have done. Hager, on the other hand, is just staring at Xandal the whole night.
No one knows how creepy Hager is.
Yeah, when you think about it.
He is quite creepy.
Okay. Vienna, you awaken Xandal and then go off to have your meditation.
Okay.
Xandal, please roll me perception at disadvantage because it is currently very dark. Ooh, okay.
Gutting.
So you sort of spend the evening. You sort of pull the gloves off, and you're like tracing each of these symbols, and you're so engrossed in them and trying to figure out A, where they came from, and B, what they mean and how they link to your parents, that before you know it, the sun is just beginning to peek over the horizon, and you're like, oh, I should be like waking Talia from her like nap to be a bit more active.
Yeah, Xandal puts on his gloves again and wakes Talia. He's like, your turn to watch.
Okie dokie.
And then he just kind of like, he sits and tinkers with the hot plate for a little bit before going back to sleep.
Okay, roll me an
Going-
intelligence check for the hot plate.
Oh.
Intelligence. Normal. I'm also going to use one of my
Okay.
thingies to add my intelligence
Yep.
modifier. So that. Oh. I don't know why that rolled twice. 7 plus my 3, so that's 10.
10. You don't make any great leaps, but you also don't break anything. So
Yeah.
you take that as a win. You're just getting a better understanding of the mechanisms and how they interact.
Yeah.
Okay, Talia, with that 21, as the sun begins rising and like it starts getting that little bit warmer, you do see some wildlife begin to move around you. You see a couple of foxes, a couple of stoats, a few hares every now and then racing past. Just a general forest morning. As the sun reaches high enough that you begin moving around, awakening everyone and getting ready for the day. At this point, you guys are far enough south that you guys, the general group of you, do not need to make con saves for the cold. Vienna, because of your cold weather clothing, Vienna, as you begin mounting your horse to prepare for the day ahead, you feel that blast of cold from the dagger once more. Con save, please.
I'm not doing too bad in the
Yeah, I
grand
was going to
scheme
say,
of
this has
Oh,
been...
yeah. And you
doing
have
quite
lost
well.
your long rest
I have
has
lost
lost
that,
you a level of exhaustion.
Yeah, I'll just do that. Okay.
On Tiki.
Also, do you need me to start rolling the percentile yet, or?
Percentile for... Oh, yes, for the mark.
Mm.
Yeah, let me just double check the wording on that.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm crossing my legs.
Okey-dokey.
Yep. Just gotta double check the wording on it.
Can I try and sweeten Vienna's horse for her
Yeah, go ahead and make
while
me
she's like, doing
a
something? See if I can
animal handling
get it
check.
to listen to her a bit more.
Hang on, I'm just checking the aberrant dragon mark.
15?
15. You managed to sort of managed to get the horse's temperament to sort of be a bit nicer, but it's still not going to listen to her most of the time. You think?
I'll
It's
just
a-
sweet
it's a
talk
work
it.
in
I'm just
progress.
like, it's okay. Like, she doesn't really hate you. She's just stubborn.
I don't see anything about a D100 on it.
No,
Alright.
it's not so much. It was for the personality, sort of
That's,
like thingy from the conflicting marks.
Yes, I forgot about that. We discussed that.
Mm.
No, nothing yet because
Okay.
obviously for now they're not interacting as such.
Okay.
Like they're very much dormant. You still don't know exactly what these do.
No.
So it's still very much a dormant thing, but eventually we will start on that.
Think of it as player knowledge versus character knowledge for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, currently the marks are very much dormant. You haven't tapped into either of them yet. So they're just there currently.
Okay.
What I'll say is once they both become like actively
back.
involved with your person, that's when we'll start doing that. Okay, welcome back. So yeah, Vienna, again, this wave of cold comes on, but you just sort of shrug it off, bring up the mental barriers, just sort of bull through it. Don't let it affect you.
Oh, I didn't need to roll that time, or?
You'd already rolled before you went
It
AFK.
said, yeah, you
Oh,
rolled
right,
an
okay.
18, which
Yeah.
would be a 21 because you're near Val. So, who is rolling the d20 for the day's travel?
Reese, I believe.
Yep.
We agreed.
Yep. Okay, 16.
Well, that's just one up from the previous roll.
Oh, okay.
Oh no!
Okay, no, this
Oh,
time.
don't say that. Here we go.
So-
Prep the giant owls. Come on.
So you guys begin following the river or the stream currently, which means you don't have to make a survival check because you are just following a stream. The first 4 hours of your travel passes without incident, and the stream begins to widen and become a small river. After these 4 hours, Vienna, could you please make me another con save, please? That's a pass. Again, this feeling of cold blasts from the knife, but you're just sort of like, I'm getting used to this. This isn't a problem. I'm not going to let it beat me. And you
Strong
just
as fuck.
keep going.
Let's go,
Stubborn.
girl.
It's
Stubborn.
at this point,
Stubborn and
after,
spite.
after another hour of travel, could everyone make me perception checks, please?
Uh,
16.
Just wait for the last ones. 15.
Would that be
Okay.
17, 18, 19
So-
if we're near Val, or does that not count for perception?
No, that saves.
No, only on saving
As it
throws.
saves, isn't it? Right, okay. I
So-
couldn't remember.
Talia, Ert, and Haga all notice this. As you're sort of riding along, most of you are just sort of looking at the stream and just sort of what's ahead of you. Talia, you sort of look off to the left into the trees, and you see just up ahead and to the left there is a clearing with a stone cylinder, like a pillar, in it, stood in the middle.
What's that? That's pretty odd looking. Look over there, and I'll point at it. What do you think it is? Monument, maybe? Should we ignore it, carry on, or
Would any of
would you
us
like to investigate?
recognise it?
From this distance, you can just see that it is just like a random pillar of stone.
I
Like,
mean, it's just a
it's-
rock, right?
Yeah, you can't tell from this distance, but you've spotted it through the trees. It's fairly difficult to see through the trees, this clearing, but you've managed to spot it, and now that you've pointed it out, the rest can see, because it's not thick woodland, but it's thick enough that it obscures things like sort of a good sort of 100 feet away. So
I mean, it's weird, and we found soulbound items in weirder places. Is it worth investigating? Because it's not meant to be
there's one
here?
way to rule that out, Val.
Sure.
Reese, you still have the compass, right?
Oh, yes.
Is the compass pointing anywhere?
do you get the compass out, Blossom?
Yeah.
Yep, the compass is not activating, not doing anything.
Well, that rules out a soulbound item, Val. It could just be a rock, maybe some ancient people left it behind. I doubt it's very interesting. Don't we have places to be? We can investigate if you want, but I'm not sure it's worth our time.
Not in any particular rush, are we?
You want
It
to
could
check
be
it
something
out?
religious based, or it could be,
Uh,
it's weird, and I want to go and have a look at it. Basically,
all right.
Okay.
I'll keep watch, and you go look. As in,
Okay.
I'll stay my distance and watch it from a distance. I don't want to get close to it.
Yeah, well, as you guys approach the clearing, and the clearing's, like I say, it's a good sort of 50 feet into the woods, but the clearing itself is about 30 feet across, and the pillar is in the very center of the clearing. And now that you're closer, you can see that it is sort of 3 rings of stone, one on top of the other, and each ring has like drawings on them, like crude etchings.
I think Val is going to pick up a rock and just throw it into the clearing and see what happens.
Yeah.
Rather than walking straight into the clearing and find out that.
Bullet comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I would rather not just walk straight into the clearing. I'm just going to throw something and just make sure that I don't get zapped instantly.
Yeah, you throw the rock in, it just like lands on the dirt with a boom, and just nothing happens.
A rock, really?
We did it in the labyrinth.
I mean, we're not in the labyrinth.
I know, but there's a weird stone thing in the middle of a clearing. I didn't want to get
it's a stone.
zapped.
I don't think it's. Well, I suppose weirder
What?
things have happened.
Can we
to be
see
honest.
what markings there are?
From the edge of the clearing, they're a bit indistinct, but they look animal in nature. Like they look
Ooh.
like animalistic drawings.
Oh, right.
Would we
Got
know of like druid circles or anything similar like this? Or heard of anything similar like this?
None of you would have heard of anything like this.
My
Okay.
Raven's dead, isn't she, at the moment?
Yep, Queenie's not
Died,
currently.
yeah, no, so I can't even send her. Oh well.
Okay.
But I can send my horse.
Yeah, do you want to send Artax in?
I
wait,
need
no,
to read
can't.
it. I've got like a mental connection with it, and it can
You
feed
do,
information
yeah?
back to me. So, yeah, I think I'll send Artax in to take a closer look. And it's an animalistic thing, so animals maybe.
Very well, my
I mean,
lord.
he's a
Comes
spirit,
the
but-
comes the mental voice from Artax, and you watch as he clops into the clearing, up to it, sort of goes around it, looks it over, comes back and goes, it appears to be a stone totem with inscriptions of animals on.
Could you recognise what the animals were, or?
Unfortunately, well, hang on. Artax is a celestial spirit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how much Artax as a celestial spirit would know about animals of the material plane.
And he has been
There's
around with us for a
and the
period of time.
one, and some
Yeah.
of them had 2 legs.
Or you could
Yeah,
describe
no.
them.
Actually, like stick horses.
No, he hasn't really got the knowledge to give that sort of detail, unfortunately.
Does at least one of them look like a hagger? You describe a hagger?
You can't talk to Artax, so
Is it 2 legs? 4 legs?
4 legs, no legs, wings.
Okay. 4 legs like Hagger, or 4 legs as in like us?
We only have 2 legs, Val.
2 legs and
Last
2
time I
arms. I'm
checked.
just interpreting the fact that he doesn't know animals very well.
4 legs like me and the other horses.
Okay. And no legs like the snake sentry that we send out, or no legs like something else?
Trying to think what other animals don't have any legs
Yeah.
No legs,
other than snakes.
no legs, and big and many legs.
Oh, like bugs. Oh wait, I can't hear this. Never mind.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go over there and have a look, aren't I? What's gonna happen.
I mean, you've
You
watched
don't
the horse
to.
go,
Yeah.
like you've watched Artax literally go right up to it and move around it, like.
I
Nothing
know,
happened.
but yeah, it's my distrust of DMs. I mean,
Don't piss off the DM.
He's not wrong though.
yeah,
That's true.
Val will go up and have a
Watching
look.
Paddy for any like expressions
Okay.
like, is he smirking right now? What's he got
Okay.
planned?
So Val, as you walk up to it, you can see that it is 10 foot in height and 5 feet wide, this column. And
Yeah.
there are 3 bands attached to the stone, made of stone themselves. And on each one, there is 3 different markings on the bands. On the top one, there is a marking of a bear, a marking of an eagle, and a marking of a mammoth. On the second, the middle ring, is a marking of a walrus, a marking of a fox, and a marking of a whale. On the bottom ring is a marking of a reindeer, a marking of a wolf, and a marking of a squid.
Okay.
Are we feeling some Skyrim vibes here?
I was just thinking that. These remind me
Yeah.
of the little gate
The
puzzles in
doors.
the
Yeah.
what do you call it? The crypt.
Does
Yeah.
it? Can I do an investigation check to see if there is anything obvious that would move, that would press, that would like?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
You watch that one.
Oh, he's boring. Don't say that before you roll. You curse yourself. God damn
Hey,
it.
it was a 2.
Two.
Not on that one.
You sort of prod at
Close
this.
enough.
You prod at this pillar. I mean, it's not difficult. When you grab one of the bands, it moves. The bands move.
Okay.
You
I
can
was
turn them.
expecting him to turn one of the bands and like a load of arrows come and like takes him out like Skyrim. Like
I'm just
Uh,
like worried that aligning them is gonna like summon something or I don't know.
I mean, I probably, if I have moved one and spun it round, I would probably spin it all the way around.
Mhm.
And then,
Yep, it spins all the way around.
and if nothing happens, I'll just go back to the group and just go, these were the animals that were on them. The discs move. Couldn't see anything else.
It's a bit odd.
I mean, I've not seen anything like this before, so if anybody else wants to have a look and see if there's
Think
anything
it's
I've
a-
missed.
You said a piece of wolf. You
Xandals
think it's a puzzle?
gonna go over and have a look. So it's three
rings.
3 rings. Top
Yep.
one has bear,
Eagle, mammoth,
eagle, mammoth. Second one has a walrus,
fox, whale,
fox, and whale. And the bottom one has
reindeer,
reindeer, wolf,
squid.
squid. So,
Legs, maybe?
bottom one would likely be water. So, he's going to roll it to the squid.
Okay.
Middle one would be land.
Why
So
are you assuming this? What's the thinking?
just top would be air. He's just running an idea.
I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of see where
so,
you're going with that.
what were the animals in the middle again? It was a
The middle was walrus,
Walrus.
fox, and whale.
whale. So he's going to put it to the fox. And then the top one, he's going to turn it around to eagle.
Okay.
And the world ends.
Boom!
Explosion!
And that was the lock on the Tarask.
Oh.
As you do that, Xandal,
Yeah.
you feel something inside the pillar. Like, it's not quite a click, but something changes about the pillar. But nothing seems like you can feel like something's not right. Like, you get the feeling that you've done something right, but not quite right.
Okay, so he's essentially just going to start moving it around piece by piece, just in case he's got the starting or the locking position in the wrong starting point.
Okay.
While he's doing that, is it alright if I just kind of like scope around the area and just make sure that we're not, nothing's coming for us while he's fiddling
Yeah.
with this?
Go ahead, roll a perception check.
10.
As far
I
as you
swear
can
they've
see,
changed the
there's
algorithm.
As far as you can see,
I've
there's
not
just
rolled more than a 2.
empty
Oh, wait,
empty woods around you.
Okay.
Xandal, roll me.
Circle back to where she was.
Now that you've got an idea of how it works, roll me an intelligence check
Okay.
to see whether you can figure out the rest of this puzzle.
Yeah, using one of my Domamas.
Yep.
Plus 3 it. 25.
25.
Hey.
After a couple of turns, you figure out that, like, what you'd put together, you sort of go, oh, hang on, it's not land, air, it's not land, earth, sea. Each of these animals indicates a type of personality trait. So an
Ooh,
eagle,
barbarians.
an eagle, a fox, and a squid would be cunning, because squids are cunning hunters. They use their things. The foxes are cunning. The eagle is cunning in how it hunts. And then you sort of go, oh, hang on, well, bear, walrus, and wolf will
Their
be strength. And then all the
Yeah.
others are endurance. They're like
Okay.
endurance animals. And once you do that and you line them all up properly, you hear as the whole pillar splits in half and opens slowly. And looking inside, you see, like just at the bottom of the pillar, right in the middle, laid on the snowy ground, a necklace made out of white gold shaped into what looks like rose thorns, entwining in and around each other with small silver rosebuds dotted throughout the length of the chain. At the central point, hanging where it would be right over the wearer's chest, is a gem-like rose made out of mixed ruby and onyx petals that look like a rosebud in the process of blooming, but still mostly closed. At the very center of the rosebud is a slight white opalescent stone.
Very pretty.
I'm gonna sort of like just double check, make sure there's no sort of like hidden booby traps.
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
That was one of the things I drew a while back.
Yep.
20.
Give you guys
20.
the
You sort of look it
visual.
over, and you can see like the inside of the pillar has got some like the
It's that,
bands
guys.
had runes on them to like line up and activate the opening of this pillar, but That's it. There's no pressure plates, no other arcane sigils or glyphs.
Not gonna lie,
Okay.
I would wear that.
Yeah, I'm going to take it out.
Yep.
Maybe
You
not
pick it
if
up,
you knew what it was called.
Oh right, okay.
pick it up, and you can feel there is something magical about this. Just from your abilities as an artificer, you can feel there's something magical here, but
Okay.
you're not sure what.
I'm going to put it away for now. I'm not going to attempt to attune to it or anything like that until I can readjust my spells at the next long rest.
Okay, fair enough.
Did you find anything, Xandal?
I
did you
found
break
I did not break it.
It split
I
open.
am not you.
How rude. I don't break
I
everything.
found a necklace of some sort, but it has
Oh?
definitely given off a magical aura. Until I can identify it, I'm just going to keep it to one side.
Probably wise. Shall we move on then?
Yes,
Or do you think there's anything else in there?
there was nothing that I could see.
Okay.
I mean,
Let's
you could always
continue
try and
then.
break it some more, but
Leave me alone, Val. Yes.
I was saying that to Xandal.
I know, but
Just
she'll
gonna
heard you
give
say
an eye
break.
roll.
Just think you're agreeing with Xandal. So.
Okay.
Break everything, and she'll just like kind of walk off at a strop further up with her horse.
Okay, so you guys return to the river and continue with your journey. So at this
How's my
point, Vienna,
relationship with my horse?
your horse
Nice.
is being a bit more docile. It's still like you have to repeat your commands a couple of times to get it to listen, but it's getting there. It's starting to realize, okay, my life is a bit easier if I listen to this person.
And I might have tried to sweeten him earlier for you while you were away.
But at this point, Vienna, another con save, please.
Here we go.
You're close enough to Val that is a pass.
Oh,
You are
good.
within 10 feet, so his aura has assisted you there. Okay, and the final 4 hours of your journey pass as the river widens even more and becomes now it's sort of 10 feet in width and is going at a decent speed and is actually carved out you actually are moving along banks of a river now rather than just sort of following this trickle of stream water. Final con save for Vienna, please, as you guys set up camp. That one
Oof.
is a fail, unfortunately.
I've been resisting all day.
Yeah. As you sort of begin getting ready to camp and sort of the long day's ride, you feel the onrush of the cold. You go to resist it, but you're just not quick enough.
And I'm here shivering.
Yep. But then, as you guys set up the camp and get ready to rest, the cold does again abate, but you still feel that bone-deep exhaustion, Vienna.
Can I sit next to Vienna?
You can sit wherever
Just
you
be
want.
like, so, you heard anything from the hot one? Oh wait, I don't know if she's hot, do I? Have you heard anything? You know, you made that deal. We've got the dagger. Do you think the hags will leave us alone now?
No idea. I haven't heard from them at all.
Has your patrons not said anything? I mean, we've got what they wanted, right?
Maybe they're waiting for me to get back somewhere where they feel
Maybe.
safe enough. I mean, at the moment we're still in danger, aren't we, on the move?
What do you
Perhaps-
think of the dagger then? It looks pretty cool.
Feels pretty cool as well.
Feels cool? What, like, oh, look, I'm such a badass with this dagger? Or, like, what do you mean?
Maybe a bit of both. I'm not sure.
It's so tiring being that cool.
Yeah.
As she gets exhaustion.
Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced, but I keep getting these random kills, but they're bone-bitingly cold.
I mean, didn't you remember Glacarex saying something about it? It suits him so well because it's so cold like him or something. Maybe it's just cold all the time or something.
I mean, it is called Winter's Moon. My patrons are winter. I should really expect it, so it doesn't seem, apart
Maybe.
from making me tired, I assume it's not that bad.
I hope it doesn't make you too tired. We need you fresh for fights. Although we've managed to avoid it so far, you know what we're like. We'll piss off something eventually, right?
Oh yeah, once we got rid of the hags, there'll be something else.
It'd probably be Glacarex chasing after us now.
Or the bone claw that's still after Xandal.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, I hope that's not like causing any problems in Maham while we're away.
I think Xandal forgot about it as well.
Did we even tell anybody about the bone claw? Like,
You
did we warn the guards?
You sent a message through the message box to the underground, but
We
that
don't
was
the
about
guards or
it.
anything. Maybe I should hang on a minute.
Ragnavale is also
she'll
aware.
fish out her
Ragnavale is
mirror.
also aware. Yeah,
She's gonna fish
Ragnavale
out
is
a
also
mirror.
aware.
Is Gunther near the mirror, or has he left it in the drawer again?
As you pull the mirror out, you can see Gunther is in his room. The mirror is propped up on the desk. Gunther is currently toweling off after a bath.
She's just kind of staring at it wistfully for a minute. Oh, Vienna, don't look, it's mine. I could look a bit. Look at it. Look at that butt. It's so good.
It's at this point, Gunther turns around, looks at the mirror, and
It's just
drops
me and
the
Vienna
towel
both
in
looking at the
shock.
mirror going.
It's like, what?
He just drops the towel in shock.
Well, see why I like him so much, Vienna. You know what I'd say? It's just like elbowing her. Anyway, well, we're getting distracted. And she's going to write a little bit of paper and try in vain to write backwards so that it's the right way around for him, and just say,
Roll,
"I want to warn guards about Boneclaw."
roll me a performance check
Oh,
to see how well you can write backwards.
With his junk out as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm being distracted by
Yeah,
I was
you
gonna
sort
say,
of
would I be helping?
You can assist if you want. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
okay,
By this point, he has picked the mirror up, and all you can see is his face now.
Oh, that's not helped.
No.
We're too
You try
distracted.
you try to write backwards, and you
I
hold
was
it up.
probably
And you
just going to
see,
say bone.
you see Gunther just like squint at it, and you've got to bear in mind he's trying to read this by the fire light from your campfire through a magical mirror. He sort of like looks at it and then just sort of looks at you and just sort of goes,
Diana, you try. Just write one guards about Boneclaw. See, can you write it backwards? Try. Maybe
I'll
we should
give
just
it a
write it
go.
the right way around, and then he can try and read it backwards. I don't know.
Should
I'm not sure. Does this mirror work like a conventional mirror, or is it?
yeah, it reverses
It does,
everything.
Okay. What would I roll?
Performance check if you're trying to write it backwards.
I'll try and help too, but
Yep,
that's probably
so
going to hinder
with-
more than. Oh, fuck.
With advantage because of the assist.
Okay.
Can I just
Should've
say,
given myself.
whilst this
No.
is going on, and like many scraps of paper later, Ertz just comes along and goes, "You know I have the sending spell, right?"
In all honesty, I was so distracted by Gunther that I completely forgot. I got to just wave him
maybe you
goodbye,
should
blow him a
take
kiss,
him.
and put the mirror away. Like, did you send Gunther a sending spell and tell them that the guard should be on guard for the bone claw? Maybe they'll listen. I don't know.
Meanwhile, Vienna's just resorted to drawing a penis on the...
I'm just like waggling my eyebrows, thumbs up. You know what I'm saying, right?
So Ert goes, Gunther, Talia says, warn guards about Boneclaw. Also, nice penis.
Nice cock.
You sort of see her sort of stare off into the distance for a few seconds and then go, Gunther says he will do. Also, glad you like, it misses you.
Yeah, this is me.
Halise is fine.
Oh my god.
Made friend with Grifter.
Interesting.
Who's
Okay.
Grifter?
If just the little kid.
Okay.
Oh?
I mean,
Sure.
Yes, she needs friends. She'll be lonely without you, Xandal. What? It's fine. Grifter seems like an okay kid.
Sounds like a reprobate by name.
Hey, don't look down on him. Not everyone is born into privilege like you, Xandal.
The one who actually knows Grifter is Val. Like, the rest of you may have heard Val mention him, but that's about
Yeah.
it.
And even Val doesn't really know him.
I'd be more like, I don't like I know that Xandal's not like every other noble and that lot, but she does tend to think that nobles look down on him, so she's probably more defending him because she, you know what I mean? Defend the underdog. She was an underdog, you know, that kind of thing, more than knowing Grifter himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as you guys settle in and enjoy your camp and make your meal for the evening, Xandal, are you looking at the necklace?
I would have to do it in the morning when I can change my spells over.
Well, you can either cast Identify on it, or you can get a general idea if you sit with an item long enough.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to try and get a general idea then.
Yeah, so you get a general idea that this is some form of spellcasting focus. You don't know the exact details. This is like you would know about things like Wand of Fireball and that sort of thing, where it has a number of charges and can cast a spell on your behalf. You get the feeling this is a very similar sort of magic item. It has some kind of stored magical capacity and has the ability to cast set spells.
Huh.
Without the Identify spell, you don't know exactly what.
Yeah. He will explain that to the party and basically say that until he's fully certain of what it can and cannot do, he'll keep a hold of it.
Okay. All right. So, who is taking what watch for the evening?
I think maybe someone else should, because I roll like shit.
Yeah, Xandal and Haga will take first.
Val can take like the third. Does Ert have dark vision?
Ert would, yes, but that comes from goblins. So
she can probably take the second one.
Okay. So first watch then, Xandal and Haga, please. Please excuse my players; they're being childish in the group chat.
I think we've just broken a net.
Yes, I think we have.
Was it the Buzz Lightyear that got her?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh. Okay.
That was a brilliant gif. I was trying not to wet myself.
As the rest of the party go to their respective forms of rest, Xandal, you and Haga sort of sit up, keep tending the fire, and Haga keeps a watch. You, again, Xandal, find yourself looking at these tattoos again. It's your inquisitive mind won't let you leave these alone. It's like, how did they get there? Where did they come from? What do they mean? It's puzzling you, and it's a mystery, and your mind does not like mysteries. You just want to, if they weren't on your skin, you'd want to tear them off and like run experiments on them to try and figure things out, but you know that is not really something you can do out in the middle of the wilderness.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Alright. So, at the end of the first watch, nothing untoward has happened. So, second watch is Ert.
Yeah.
If Ert can roll me a perception check then.
Cool. Fuck's sake.
We're on par tonight.
She has got the snake out.
Yeah, Ert and Haga just sort of spend the next sort of 4 hours of the watch. And Talia, in your sort of like minor watching state, you can see Ert does begin the watch properly alert and looking around, and then eventually her eyes drift to Haga and Haga's eyes drift to her, and for the next 3 hours there is just this intense staring contest going on between Ert and Haga.
Kind of just raise an eyebrow and be like,
but eventually goes and wakes Valdizian for the final watch.
Is there enough light for me not to do this at disadvantage now?
The dawn light is just coming through, so it is light enough that it is not disadvantage.
Cool. 13.
Glancing around and keeping an eye on things as the light begins to climb, nothing untoward. You don't see any dangerous creatures or signs anywhere. All seems quiet in this part of the forest.
Cool.
Vienna, as you again begin packing up, ready to go, that wave of cold emanates from the blade once more. But again, with a fresh start under your belt and the previous level of exhaustion removed, you just shrug it off. Okay. Who's rolling for today's travel? Third day of travel.
I think Vienna should.
I think Vienna should
Is
as
that
Yeah,
well.
right?
why
Wrong.
not? Yeah.
Oh god, don't
Okay,
say this.
roll
guys.
me a d20 then, please, Vienna.
We keep getting consistent 15s. It's like-
15.
Yeah,
See,
we've done
already
15.
Or just single digits.
Already done 15, so I will move it to the next most relevant one.
Everybody turns into plant pots.
We all turn blue.
Suddenly
Yeah.
bears.
Here we go. So, as you guys move along through this area, moving along the river, the next 4 hours of the morning go without issue. The river widens and grows stronger with every passing sort of hour as you travel, and now it is a good-sized river, and you can tell you're probably now about a day away from the coast when you make camp tonight. Vienna, con save, please. Second one of the day.
Also, as we're traveling, while Xandal is sat
What's wrong
in
with us today?
on Haga, he's going to cast Identify on the necklace.
Okay, so you get back. I will just add the item to your journal, and it's up to you
Thank you.
what you share to everyone else about this item.
Okay.
Where are we?
I think my dice are weighted.
There we go.
I think everybody's
Does seem
dice
a
are
bit
weighted
odd that we
today.
just keep
Yeah.
rolling the same things.
Okay. So yep, again, Vienna, that wave of cold comes over you, but again, you're getting very used to them now, and you almost sort of mentally bat it away. As sort of midday, early afternoon comes upon us, I need everyone to make perception checks, please.
Come on. Oh, 14. Bloody hell. Even though my dice said 15, but whatever.
Weighted dice.
Yeah, I rolled another 15. It's like...
Don't knock it. So,
Today's lucky number is 15. Seemingly.
so only three will have seen this. Valdisian, Vienna, and and Emily actually will all have spotted this. As you're traveling along, as you sort of come up to this point on the river where it sort of is a natural bend, you guys who passed above a 16 spot the snow here lays a little differently on the ground. It's not dirt and pine needles in a certain area near the river's edge. It looks like it's maybe resting on stonework.
Okay.
How far does the stonework stretch?
Looks like it's a roughly 20-foot circle.
Sweep some of the snow off.
Yeah, as you go up and sweep the snow off, you can see that it is a 20-foot stone circle, and inscribed into the ground is 4 circles within the circle, each at a cardinal point of the compass. These
Okay.
circles within it are just large enough for a medium creature to sit in, cross-legged.
Hell no.
Xandal, you're
And
the
in the-
clever one. Have
And
a look
in
at
the
this.
in the middle of those is a 5th circle. Like they're all interconnected with inscribed lines.
Don't trust it.
Yeah, Xandal have a Luke, see what he can figure out.
Okay, roll an investigation check.
All the arcane weird shit around here.
Investigation.
Well, again, you got to bear in mind this did used to be populated before the calamity. Yashvar
Yeah,
was a
true.
major city.
And I thought you
6.
were smart.
6.
Yeah.
You find some writing or some bits of writing, but you're having trouble like sweeping enough snow away to get a decent idea of what it is.
I just can't read what it's trying to say.
Wait, is it
Maybe
actually
just-
writing?
Leave it alone.
There is writing, yes. If you point it out to Vienna, then Vienna's going to have no problem with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
Vienna.
sometimes forget that I can read everything.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh yeah, you have that thing, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Vienna, you look at the writing and you sort of sweep away enough of the snow to be able to read it all. And anyone here speaks Celestial?
Nope.
Or read Celestial?
I do.
Deb?
Yeah, I was about to say, Val, you would also be able to read this. It reads, with 4 willing allies' aid, answers may be found.
Yeah, Emily can understand that.
Emily can
Well.
understand that if she does a ritual cast. She
No,
has-
she can speak it.
Oh, speak it. Yep. Then yeah, Emily would also go. Interesting.
I've done
What's
weirder
it
stuff.
like, necromancy or something? What is it?
Well, it's written in Celestial.
Oh, maybe not. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, right? What is it?
No, but it just kind of gives it more towards radiant than necrotic, I guess.
No, but make sure it's not dangerous.
I mean, it's going to be no dangerous than walking into the throne room of an ice beholder. So, you know.
I think, yeah, we've survived.
I mean, it's a
worse.
little
Come on.
different. Like this is, it's a beholder. I suppose you don't really know what you're going to get, but this is very unknown. Sometimes things should be left
So-
alone.
What did it say again?
With 4 willing allies' aid, answers may be found.
And what's
Kind of
actually on the
answers.
ground?
So there are 4 circles at the cardinal points of the circle, so north, south, east, and west. And in the center is a 5th circle, which all the other circles are linked to by lines.
Val
So
goes and
if-
sits down.
Yeah,
In
which
the middle? Are you sure?
Xandal,
No,
well, it's a chance at knowledge.
yeah,
I was going
Val,
to suggest maybe 4 of us actually stand on each of the points, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Why not? Okay.
Okay, so who's
Val in-
who's
Val in the
standing or
middle?
sitting where?
I
I'll
was
take
going to go
north.
north.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go south.
Okay. So
I'll go east.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm north,
I'll-
you're south. Okay.
I'll go
I thought
west. Left.
Val was in the middle.
No,
so
I
who's
didn't say
going
where.
in the middle?
You said you went in the middle before Xandal.
Okay, I'll
So
go in
are
the
you
middle. I
gonna
didn't.
Are you going to go in the middle or?
I'll go in the middle then.
Okay. So we've got Talia north, we've got Xandal
Oh.
east, Vienna west,
And
Val
I'll
in the
go
middle,
South then.
south.
Would it not
okay.
make sense for Xandal to go in the middle if he's the one that has all of the arcane knowledge?
I did think that, but
Oh, I'm just thinking more evening out boons if there is one amongst the party.
Okay.
So do
Oh,
you
so
want to
it is-
switch Xandal?
Either way,
well, if it is more divine, then it's well.
it would make.
Yeah.
I think if it yes, celestial, divine. I feel.
Okay,
like
I'll go in the middle then. Yeah.
Paladin makes
Either
sense
one.
to be in the middle.
We need to be able to have someone to understand the language per chance as well.
Fair point.
I can
Okay.
only read it, I can't speak it, so.
As you all sit in your respective circles and sort of get comfortable, the
Mm.
circles around you give off this faint green glow. And you feel, the 4 in the outer circles, you feel your consciousnesses not fade. You feel a link form between you and the land around you. And the green light flows along these lines from your circles to the middle one to Val. And Val, you feel this link form as well, but you have more control in a way. And you feel this presence of the land in your mind, and a sense of waiting, expectation. And you get the feeling if you asked something now,
Mm.
the land would do its best to answer you.
I've got nothing to ask.
Effectively, what this is a ritual circle for commune with nature. You get to
Okay.
ask
Oh,
3
okay.
yes or no questions. The local land will answer yes or no to the best of its ability.
Can I reach out and phone a friend? I'm guessing I
You
have to
are-
say it in Celestial.
You are in a... Nope, you don't have to say it in Celestial. You can say it in any language you want. The land will understand. Because what the land is doing is it is using your 4 friends as a conduit to basically allow you to ask the questions.
I'm assuming we're not aware that he can ask these questions. We're just sat
You
here
are-
looking at him like, what? Or...
Basically, your consciousness is there, but you can feel this presence, and you get the feeling the land is going to use you 4 as mouthpieces for this.
Ah, weird.
Very weird.
Hello.
Okay. I don't know what to ask.
I don't know, ask it about the bone claw or something. I don't know. You got questions for stuff, I'm sure? Ask it anything.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't know anything, let's be honest.
I mean, that's the other thing. Commune with nature only works in a certain... No, not that you guys know this, but you get with the link that you've got, you can sense sort of the land itself. Yes, it stretches a long way, but you're not sure quite how far it reaches.
Okay.
Where treasure is.
Are we travelling the safest and fastest route to get to our destination? I'll say whatever the destination is, I just can't remember right now.
The end of the Landfeck River.
Yeah.
The 4 of you on the outer circles, you feel the sensation of morning light on leaves, of rain after a long drought, of new shoots growing, and you all feel your mouths say, in unison, yes.
Yeah.
Are we still being pursued by the bone claw or the hags?
You feel the land sort of flowing through itself, searching for creatures that match the descriptions it pulls from your minds of these names. And after a few moments, you all feel cracks of thunder through your minds, the breaking of stone, the shaking of earth, and you all say, no.
Is he saying this out loud? Do we know what questions are being asked?
Yeah, you
As
can all hear the
conduits?
questions being asked, yeah.
Okay.
Your consciousness is still there, you just, are currently in a back seat sort of thing.
That's a relief.
Um,
Aaron, you're muted.
Yeah, I was going to say you're muted, Aaron.
Damn it, mute. Yeah, would you be able to ask if there is a chance that they will come after us again?
I mean, I think we're kind
It's
of
not really
assuming that they are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something else
How
to
many more
ask.
questions do we have?
One more.
One more question.
Ask how we're on.
The items.
I mean, it's a yes and no question, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any soulbound items in this area?
That's if...
Probably
yeah.
not. Actually, no. We already know there isn't because the compass wasn't pointing
Yeah.
anywhere. That's a wasted question.
I can't think of anything else that I really want to ask.
Ask it if it's having a nice day.
Ask if Glacarex is after us.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose has
Because you only said
Glacarex...
Bonecore and Hags. You didn't say anything about Glacarex, so yeah.
Has Glacarex or any of the creatures within that town left the outskirts
Yashvar.
of... Yeah, Yashvar. Left the outskirts of the city.
The 4 of you linked to the land feel its consciousness reach up to the edge of the ice, but it can't reach much further within. But it sort of does its best, and it comes back, no. And then you all feel the land's consciousness slip away from yours as the lights of the circles dim, and the stone beneath you goes dark and blackened as if it has used up its power.
Phil?
Well, that was at least not bad, right? And yay, no hags. I guess it worked, Liana.
Yeah.
Well, at least
For
as far as
now.
the land can tell.
As far as
Hell,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Shall we
Sweet,
keep
move on.
moving?
That's
Okay.
poor bosun's probably wondering where the hell we are. We should hurry up.
You guys mount back up and begin moving again. Vienna, con save, please.
Can't save.
That is just a pass.
Okay.
Okay.
Also, as we are traveling, I'm going to explain what I know of the necklace.
Okay.
So Xandal's just going to sort of like, he's going to pull out the necklace. He's going to look around at everyone. He's like, this is a very weird item.
What does it do? Have you figured it out?
It's
Weird is kind of our thing.
It's
I mean, we're all weird.
an item that essentially holds spells, and it recharges like every night at midnight.
That doesn't seem weird. It's no different
It's
than
a necklace
thing.
based around fear.
fear. Sounds like
Yes.
something Balasar would have liked.
It's
He had
it's
that
spells.
ring,
From
didn't he?
what I can figure out are, though, my memory of wizard spells more than artificery spells are somewhat lacking. Phantasmal force, cause fear, and I think the last one is phantasmal killer.
That sounds a bit ominous.
Ugh.
It's essentially a bunch of spells that are
Gary?
will cause your opponent to feel fear. The last one, if I remember right, will hurt said foe.
Yeah, the Phantasmal Killer, you tap into the nightmares of a creature you can see within range and create an illusory manifestation of its deepest fears, visible only to that creature. Target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target becomes frightened for the duration. At the end of each of the target's turns before the spell ends, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 4d10 psychic damage. On a successful save, the spell ends.
Would definitely still wear that necklace.
I mean, it's
If
kind
you
of
want
Janus
it.
aesthetic.
No, I'd wear it in real life.
Yeah.
It is pretty.
It
Yeah.
is very pretty.
I mean, we've got a vault full of magical items. If it's of no use at the moment, we can always keep it there, and then it's...
I mean, it could be useful. I mean, having an enemy fear you means it's less likely to attack you, make them
And-
skittish, make mistakes. It could be
You
quite tactically advantageous.
guys have seen the effect of Phantasmal Force before. Val, you have actually experienced it. In the sewers when you were going after
Oh,
the
yeah.
ritual room. The Dibbooks cast Phantasmal Force on you to make you believe you were on fire.
Ah, okay.
That's what Phantasmal Force is. It's creating an effect or image or something that only someone can see. It doesn't necessarily have to cause damage. It can be very much just like an illusion, but only one creature can see it.
Mm.
I mean, does anybody want to use it or wear it?
I mean, I think it would look pretty good on Vienna. Might give her a little edge. in
I was
battle.
actually just
Like she
looking.
needs more.
I mean,
I was actually just looking at my spell list, and I actually already have
Get
fear,
your
so it would be
friends.
quite helpful if I don't have to use one of my spells to do it.
I will
Yeah.
say, the necklace has 10 charges. It regains 1d6 charges each night at midnight. Phantasmal Force is 1 charge per creature being targeted, so you can target multiple creatures. Cause Fear is 2 charges. Phantasmal Killer is 3 charges.
I think it sounds really interesting. So
Yeah, Xandal
Yeah.
will hand it over to her.
Okay, so I will
need
add
help
that.
putting it on? Does she like waggle her eyebrows at Vienna? Because she always likes flirting with Vienna.
she gives a wink back.
That has been added to your journal, Vienna, so that you have access to it.
Perfect.
It uses its own spell save DC rather than yours. It's a DC 14 for the spell
Okay.
effects.
Sweet.
Looks good on you.
Thank you.
Agreed.
I thought Casper hated you.
Casper loves me.
Oh, we're talking about a cat. I was like,
Yeah,
cats?
I was just
I
looking.
was like,
then,
in-game character that we've missed?
Dun dun dun. Hello.
So,
He's been with us the whole time. What?
at the end of
Okay.
your day's journey, you can now hear in the distance the beginning of the cries of seabirds. And the river is now much, much wider, now being sort of 20, 30 feet in width. You get the feeling you're getting close to the end now.
Excellent. We're nearly there, I think.
Vienna, as you are again setting up camp, the cold from the blade abates.
I don't have to roll
And-
again.
Something different happens.
Oh no, she
Oh.
dies.
You feel a sense of grudging acceptance,
Ah,
and the cold that had been coming from it that was arctic and oppressive now just feels like a refreshing breeze constantly flowing across your skin. And you feel
I'll be
information
nifty in a desert.
flow into your
"Oh."
brain about what the dagger can do, as the item
Oh, I don't actually know what it does. I don't.
allows you to connect with it, and you will now be able to wield the blade in combat. That has also been added to your journal.
I'm looking.
Power up!
Gives all the items to Vienna. Vienna dies.
I mean,
Don't jinx
That's
it!
all. Vienna dies.
weighted down. Ah! They all
Right,
clash.
correct. Where are you?
Yep. Oh, can you imagine Okarak and together? That'd be great.
Oh, be pure chaos. I'd love it.
But yeah, so there you go. You have now been not accepted, but it has allowed you to begin wielding
Using it.
You have passed the test of the blade.
Hey.
Of 3 days straight of just constant Arctic cold.
For some reason,
I
I
am
felt
more
like it was going to be
cold
like
than
a
the
week.
dagger.
It's in the description. I said it's 3 or 4 days because if you fail enough checks, it will kill you within 2 days. That item,
Oh
that
shit!
test, because 6 levels of exhaustion is instant death. So, if you have 3 or 4 checks per day. So if you fail enough during a day and then sleep, you only lose 1 level of exhaustion from a long rest.
All right, yeah, that makes
The
sense.
only other way to lose exhaustion is through spells like Greater Restoration. So that's one of the soulbound items I made that could genuinely just kill you with its test.
Oh shit! So we got one thing that that did that. We got one that might have driven the person insane.
Yeah.
Well, this one nearly kills you. I dread to think what the others are going to do. At least there don't seem to be any downsides to the ship that we know of. So that's nice.
At the moment.
I mean,
No, Paddy.
the ship-
That we know of.
No.
the ship could have killed you during its test. It sent you to the elemental plane of water.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's taking more like Bosun just being like, "God, these guys suck," just kills them in their sleep or something.
No. Okay.
Oh,
Who's taking what watches this evening?
I'll take first watch. Why not?
Okay.
I'll take second. I haven't done one for the last one again, so.
Yep.
I'll take that.
13.
Okay. So 13. You spend the first part of the night as the sun sinks down below the horizon, the campfire crackling merrily. It's still cold out. There's like a layer of frost and light snow everywhere, but you're going further south and it's getting just that bit warmer now, so it's not too bad. And you're looking around and you see a bit more nighttime wildlife than you have previously. But these woods have been weirdly quiet of other types of creatures. You've seen no hunters or other travelers. It's just been a bit odd. But nothing untoward happens. Everything appears fine. Vienna, do you meditate during this first part?
Yes. I guess I
Yeah.
would be, yeah.
During your 4 hours of meditation, you feel your consciousness go down that familiar link at the back of your mind, the one that two beings have now used to draw you
Oh
into their
no.
presence. And you sort of catch yourself thinking, oh God, which one is it going to be this time?
I'll take Sexy Lady or Mother Knight, but if it's the Queen, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
As your vision fades away from black, you find yourself stood in a throne room.
Famous last words.
Yeah,
Steph.
Direct
it's the Queen, isn't it?
ahead of you on a dais is a throne made completely of black ice.
Ooh.
And you hear steps coming from a door just behind it. And as it opens, a figure steps through. Hair as black as the night sky, but dotted with stars, which you now can see closer up is patches, tiny patches of frost on the actual follicles themselves. Skin as white and pure as snow. She moves through, unlike Mother Night dressed in the black robe or Lady Winter in the sparkling diamond dress. She is dressed in functional, sort of regal leather armor, like black leather armor, very tailored. It's functional, but it's still regal and presentory. At her hip is a pair of daggers, and she looks down on you with a pair of eyes where the irises are white, but the
Ooh.
rest of the eyes are black. And she moves and sits on the throne and looks down at you, not saying anything.
I will assume that you are the Queen of the Fey Court of Winter.
Again, no words escape her, but she raises an eyebrow. And you feel an overwhelming pressure. I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Ooh. I'm not so good
Interesting.
with strength.
Shadows.
I'm
Oof.
really not that
Yep.
good with strength.
You are. This pressure hits your shoulders, and you are forced to one knee, your head
Oh.
bowed.
Kneel, bitch.
My bad. Okay.
You are. This pressure stays, and you hear as this figure gets up and just walks around you slowly. A hand reaches down and touches the hilt of Winter's Moon, and you feel that same pleasant cold wind that had been flowing across you almost eddies and dances in recognition, and it's almost like a happy flurry of snow across your skin. The hand withdraws, and you just hear acceptable, and then you wake up from your meditation in a cold sweat.
Damn.
Okay.
The Queen of Air and Darkness does not mess around. She's not like her daughter or mother. She doesn't do theatrics.
To be honest, it's like you'd kind of think, oh, she's a bitch, but actually, Vienna actually really respects that because that's what Vienna's used to. She's like, that's a strong woman. Okay, so
Yeah.
she's actually like, yeah, okay.
Okay, but you awaken just as Talia had been coming towards you to wake you up for your watch. And Talia, just as you're going towards her, you can just see, layered across Vienna's pink hair, just this light dusting of frost that just blows away in the wind on an eddy.
You okay?
Yeah, good news. Seen the patron, or one of them.
Oh. What another? How many do you have?
I think there's 3. This
Three,
one was
huh?
the Queen.
Not the Queen?
Yeah.
You're moving up in the world.
Respectable woman. She didn't say much to me, but it appears
Was she hot?
not as hot as Lady Winter, but
Yeah, it
Different
it
kind
was
of
very
hot?
much. It was very much.
Attractive for
Whereas
different reasons.
Lady Winter is very sultry and attractive and very much putting it out there.
The Queen's
Queen-
attractive on a different level.
It was more. It was
yeah.
very much more the refined, strong woman level attraction. She was still a very
Yeah.
fine figure of a woman, beautiful features. She's still fae. She's still
Yeah.
unworldly
Mummy?
beautiful.
Sorry.
But
Mummy? Sorry.
unlike with Lady Winter, who's obviously just like putting it out there and trying to be seductive, the Queen doesn't have to try.
Naturally,
She just
yeah.
has this air that just draws you in.
Nice.
So, but she just touched the hilt of the hilt of the dagger, and she just said acceptable, and now I'm here.
Acceptable? Well, at least she didn't say disappointing or anything, so I guess that's a good thing. Sounds like a lady of few words. Right, well,
Yes.
hopefully that's the end of the hags then. Don't
I
suppose she
hope so.
mentioned them.
No, she didn't. She hardly said anything at all. Like I said.
Fair enough. Right, well, get some rest. I'll go take watch.
That's the end of your watch, Talia, in the beginning of
sorry.
Vienna.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
completely, yeah. I'm going to get some sleep. You go watch.
Yes.
Vienna, roll me a perception check, please.
Perception.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh! Obviously, I'm preoccupied.
Yeah, you're just sat there, sort of playing with Winter's Moon and just thinking about this triumvirate of patrons that you have bound yourself to, and their differing personalities.
Ménage à trois.
But the next 4 hours passes without incident, and the sun just begins to peek over the horizon. Who takes the last watch?
It was me.
Yep, so Vienna, you wake Xandal, and Xandal, you awaken and prepare for your watch.
Okay.
So go ahead, roll me a perception check.
4.
4. Sort of glancing
Sorry,
around and looking about.
Ow, don't do that.
Again, nothing untoward. You can't see anything weird. Everything seems fine. You get the rest up, you have a breakfast of sort of dried rations, and you mount up for what you hope will be the last day of your travel to the misadventure. Who's rolling?
rolled the
I
last
think
one, so-
Talia is the only. Who's not rolled?
I haven't rolled yet.
Talia.
Okay, was it a d20?
Bullets, bullets.
No, not bullets again. What? 2.
2. Okay, let me check my.
At least
It's not like
Yeah.
a check, it's a round table. The number doesn't matter. It's fine.
We've had a
It's fine.
2 before, so
Have
we
we?
will move that. Yep. So we'll move that along. Actually, no, we can redo 2. You're lucky. The day is bright with only a gentle breeze. Visibility is good, and you are sped along your way. Your travel time is reduced by half a day.
Sweet.
Eh,
Hey.
So-
should be at the ship in no time.
So
Oh, back on track from when we went around the guys.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
actually had
We
some-
made our time back. That's good.
Yep. So by midday, you come to the mouth of the river as it opens out into the Rift Sea, and you can see anchored just off of the mouth of the river, the misadventure waiting for you.
How are we going to get the horses on the ship? Getting off was difficult. Now I'm thinking, I guess we can ask Bosun when we get there. He might have
Always
something.
portal them.
True.
I
We
mean,
can try that.
He can change the shape of the ship, can't he? So
I don't think it's within his power right now. I mean, we'd only just, like with the cowl and with the dagger, that
Does
you
it
have to
not
do
have a
things to
ramp
get
or
acceptance.
anything? Does it not have a ramp or anything?
I don't know. We'll find out when we get there, boss. Let's get to the ship first. We'll worry about it when we get there.
I can always use a portal dagger.
Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
portal. Yeah, let's get to the ship.
As you get to the edge of the bay, you can see stood on the edge of the railing the figure of Bosun waving at you. And the ship is... The water here is fairly deep, but it's still a good sort of 50, 60 feet out. Because to come any closer would risk becoming too shallow and getting beached. Ahoy! Oi! Good to see you all.
She'll like wave.
Hello, Talia. Are you all ready to come aboard and set sail?
Yeah,
More
we're
than
just
ready.
thinking, how do we get the horses back on the ship? Do you have a ramp? Or like a
I have
bottle or something?
I have a boarding ramp for when we're at docks. I don't have a 60-foot ramp that'll reach, there.
Alright, we'll figure something out. Val, you've got that dagger, right? Maybe we should use that?
We've also then got to try and convince
got-
the horses to go through the portals, which is going to be the next challenge. But I can
It'll be
certainly,
fun.
I can
One
certainly.
step at a time, one step at a time.
So we're only gonna. I'm just trying to work out. I can only have it open for a minute, can't I?
Yep. And it's an action to open a portal.
There's an action to open a portal, and then flight speed of 30. So
it will take you 2 turns to open a portal, get to the ship, and open the other portal.
And 10 rounds is a minute, so...
Yeah, so you will then have 8 rounds to get the horses through.
okay.
How
Okay.
often can the dagger be used?
Portal, 1 creature can go through it per round.
Yeah, how often can the dagger be used, though?
Oh,
Once
the
a
dagger
day
can
or-
be used indefinitely.
So I
Yeah,
could open
so-
the horses up again.
It's only the plane shift ability that
Yeah,
is
the plane shift is
restricted.
once a week.
Yeah. Okay, I guess
So
I'll
we've
do
got-
that.
We only got 1 minute per portal, but
Yeah.
we can just reopen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to make you guys do this round per round. I will say make me animal handling checks, and that is how long it's going to take you to get the horses on the ship. You're going to get them on eventually. It's
Yeah.
just how long it's going to take you.
18?
I'm just
18.
gonna.
Yeah, Artax just vanishes.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
So does Vienna's.
Okay.
Get a horse hates
After-
me.
It's 'cause you're so
take-
aggressive to it. poor
Ah!
thing.
It takes you about an hour and a couple of bags of oats, but you do eventually manage to get the horses on the ship and stowed below in the cargo hold.
Oh, that
comfortably.
took so long.
Bosun's just been sort of leant against the side of the railing, whilst the rest of the ghostly crew have been they've been helping you get the horses down below, but that was about all they did. And he sort of goes, "Well, that was entertaining." So,
I can imagine
Continue.
Xandal and Hagar being stood right next to him going, yeah,
yeah,
it's quite funny
Xandal,
watching the drow.
Xandal, question: were you wearing your gloves during all of that?
Yes.
That's fine. Just needed to know. Okay.
Ever since he's sort of discovered the marks, he's kept his gloves on till he can figure
Yeah.
out what they are.
Yeah, there was a reason I needed to know, and none of the rest of you need to know.
Ooh.
Bosun goes, so, Minas Pengoli was it, yeah?
Yes, did you manage to get those supplies?
Aye, we've got enough supplies for a couple, obviously there, whichever route we take. Obviously we'll restock, I'm assuming, when we're in port at the Minas Pengoli.
I would imagine so.
Problem is, what route do you want to take?
Hmm.
We
Well,
can either,
any
we can have-
suggestions?
well, there's obviously 2, really. We can either go direct, open ocean. That's going to be risky, because obviously it's open ocean. And as much as I know about you guys fighting this Voda Warrior character, that's still open ocean.
Well, there might be stragglers, or it's not been that long since the war, so...
Exactly.
Hmm.
The other option is going around the coasts. That'll take longer, but it's more likely to be safer.
Maybe that would be a good idea. We could have not a cruise, but we could
I was just thinking,
relax.
it's almost like a cruise.
spend some time together. We've been adventuring for a while, but I still think maybe we could learn more about each other. It might be fun.
If we're going coast to coast, we're going to end up landing back at Maham anyway, aren't we?
I mean, I can skip
Maybe
Maham.
passing.
We can skip Maham pretty easily without having to enter open ocean.
Okay.
The only bit of the coast where we may have to do a bit of open ocean is after we've got past Maham a bit and past Moontide, There's an area where if we go the coastway, it's a giant bay, so we could either cut across that, cutting out a bit of time, or continue, through the bay. But it take a bit more time is all. But Maham's easy enough to skip, just sort of go past without entering the bay.
Sweet. Okay, yeah.
I
Sure.
just had a thought, guys. This ship is a bit ominous looking, right? Does Minas Pengoli know we have this ship? You don't suppose they'll think that we're leftovers
Oh.
from the Vodoid Empire and attack us? Is there any way we can pre-warn them?
I thought it was actually parked up at Minas.
No,
Oh,
the
no,
ship's
Minas
parked at
yeah.
Maham. We docked it. We came from the treasure room through the plane of water and then sailed straight to Maham. So, as far as Minas Pengoli knows, we just disappeared and then.
I mean, you
Maybe we
assume
should.
Barras has probably mentioned, about you guys finding this ship to the other people, because it's technically spoils of war, but it's yours.
Okay, so they do.
Whether he's actually given a description is
Yeah.
another thing
Wondering
entirely.
whether we should message someone.
I mean, worst case scenario is we can get almost
have a
there.
flag up or something.
I
I was
gonna
going to
say,
say park a little
dock
far away
walk,
from the dock,
yeah.
and then one of us can fly over or get over, say, this is us, here are our papers, and then
We have papers.
I assume we have papers to say that we are the team Armatae, and we're from Maham, and we're an adventuring group.
I mean, we had that insignia that I designed, but I don't think we've actually roleplayed that as a thing. It's just more word of mouth. I don't think we have anything that actually represents us yet.
I thought we were officially recognised by Barras and Maham, and would we have had some paperwork from that, Paddy, or?
You haven't got any paperwork, but you know that you are you've been told, the other two cities, Ingbrook and Minas Pengoli, were told that you are a state-sponsored
I was
adventuring
going to say, I think
party.
a lot of the council of Minas Pengoli were here in Maham
Yeah.
at one point, weren't they? So they have seen us. But yeah, I suppose
It's just
them,
whether this in
it's
the
the
ship,
workers.
so-
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try and fashion a flag with like an insignia or something, just so they know that it's not, the Empire.
Yeah.
Vodoid and whatnot. That should be sufficient.
Well, there's the other thing of, Voda didn't use ships. Voda lived under the water.
Yeah,
I know,
they
it's just
kind of
more because of the barnacles and
yeah.
stuff. It looks like it's come from the sea,
Yeah.
maybe coming for revenge or something, that sort
True.
of thing.
But yeah.
We'll
So
find a
Bosun
solution.
So, just sort of checked my mental charts. It'll be 7 days by the open ocean, about 13 by the coast. By the coastal
I
way.
vote for the coast. I think we could do with a break on our way, recharge our batteries.
We're not in a rush, are we, to get there? You're only going to see your friend, so
Yeah.
And the more time we're on the water, the less time the Bone Court Law can get Xandals, so.
I mean, there's that, but also, we want to get to know Bosun and stuff,
Aye?
right?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Feel like the more time we spend with you, maybe we'll unlock something. I don't know. It's how it works,
quite-
right?
Quite possibly. Depends on how much adventure we have along the way.
We'll be
also-
keeping our eyes out then.
Also, bear in mind, my estimates of travel time there is assuming you guys aren't helping. If you help, then we'll go a bit faster, but that's
And
down
weather.
to you. And the weather, obviously.
Yeah, we'll help. We're here.
Right.
We're not just gonna.
Then it's agreed. We take the
If you-
scenic route.
If you chip in, it'll go a little bit faster. Not much, but a little bit.
Cool.
well, no doubt adventure will find us. It always manages to.
Yeah.
That's the spirit. I can see you've all picked up a few new items and a couple more scars. I'm looking forward to hearing those stories.
By the way, Vienna is holding on to this dagger very tightly because she does not want to lose it like she did the orb.
You
You're gonna
feel
sleep with it.
Yeah, it's like
as you think that, Vienna, you feel the sentience of the blade almost convey a thing of, if you lose me, just call me and I will appear.
oh, okay. She's
And
still gonna
Talia,
hold
you
on
would
to it
you
anyway.
would know that is an intrinsic part of soulbound
Yeah.
items. Like they physically cannot be taken from a wielder, and should they be lost, they can just be bamfed into the wielder's possession again.
Maybe I'll see that you're holding onto the dagger and be like, "Why are you holding that on so tightly, Vienna? Afraid you'll drop it?"
Well, I don't want to get pulled into the ocean and lose it, like the orb thing.
Oh wait, it's a soulbound item, right?
Yeah.
Here, let me show you something, and she'll remove the cowl and chuck it overboard.
Yep. You watch as the cowl just
Why'd you just
flies
do
over
that?
and just lands in the ocean, floating on the waves.
Wait for it. And it's back on her head.
In a flash of this ghostly green energy, the cowl just reappears on Talia's head. It is soaking wet.
Ah, I didn't think this through. I didn't think this through. Basically, it's like it's bound to you. It's with your soul. You cannot lose it. You just call it back.
She
Try
kind
not
of
to
looks
stress.
it.
It's not like an orb or anything.
Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
shoot.
It's at this point you can see the ghostly sailors around you have been prepping the ship, and it begins moving, sailing out of this estuary and out, heading southwards, aiming to sort of go along the coast. Well, obviously, please go below deck, stow your things, and let's go have some adventure.
Can we take a very quick break to feed cats and go to the toilet and stuff?
Yep, we can take a quick break.
Cool.
I'm gonna
Right, I'll do
kill
the
my
be right
pig.
back screen.
Yep, we'll be right back, guys. Just taking a quick break so everyone can, refresh, refuel, deal with any mental trauma I've given them. Hello, and welcome back. They caught me off guard here a little bit. They were just having me make something on D&D Beyond for them, and I wasn't ready. So they're going to have to wait 2 seconds because I wasn't ready.
That could have waited until after the session, Paddy.
Yes, well, I like to be on top of things so that I know that it's done.
Bless him.
Aww.
Right, there we go. I've sent the link to Annette for that. That's fine.
Awesome,
Sorted.
thank you. I'll sort that out later.
Yes, right. Anyway, where was I? Ah, too much stuff. There we go. Right, so, first day of sailing. Who's going to roll the d20?
Well,
Can
already
we have
rolled, so
sailing music
whoever-
as well?
I
Yeah.
will change the music, yes.
Request. Sea shanties all around.
There once was a man that
15.
I need to find a decent... I will do that in a second. I first need to find a decent sea music that has been requested.
Spell.
Only because if I listen to that for 4 hours, it's going to be going round in my head whilst I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's see what Island Vibes is like.
Ooh.
If it'll play.
I've just added
Hang
some
on.
village of tea. Ugh.
Kind of SSN.
Right. Kind of like Animal Crossing.
Oh, is it playing for you guys? Because I can't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not playing
don't
for me.
it's very piano-y, it's not very sadie.
Okay, I'll stop that
It's
one.
like
Try-
If
SSN
you
from
added
like
waves
Pokemon
to
Red.
it probably would.
Try
That's going
There's
back
the
some
waves.
years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Aquatic Planet. How's that?
Sploosh.
That was our
Again,
underwater
not that
music.
I-
Oh dear.
Not that I can hear it. Again. Oh, now
It
I
was
can
the
hear
underwater music that we were playing in when we were going under.
Oh, to see Voda word, yeah.
No,
Right,
I think
let me try
this
that
was
one.
music playing when we were doing
Trying
that
to get the orb
workshop.
back as well.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not listening.
Probably should have got this organised
Ask
before
me
we
to
came
do
back from
stuff
break.
when I'm not prepared.
Sorry.
Voyage. Let's
Be
try
prepared.
Voyage.
That works. Or not. Oh dear.
Technical issues, please stand by. That's why it's not working.
Oh dear.
Technical
And-
issues.
Everybody has
Oh dear, it's all
moved.
good. Maybe we should go back to break and sort this out. Quick.
We'll be right back. I've just
warn me when you change the music back, because it's going to blast my eardrums off.
Okay.
All right, everybody's back in their spots. We're sorted.
Okay. Are we restarting?
We've already
Yes.
started.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
I said let's go
Sorry
back
about
to the
that,
overlay
guys.
all.
Little bit of technical difficulty
Let
there.
chaos reign!
So, rolled a 15 for the first day. Let me
Yeah.
have a look on my table. What have we got? Aha. Okay. So as you guys are sailing along, you guys have gone down below and stowed your gear. Do you return to the deck, or are you staying below?
We're helping out.
think we're
aren't we?
helping.
Yeah, we're helping out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone who's up
Brilliant.
on deck, can you please roll me a perception check, please?
Okie dokie then.
Oh god. That's
Is that-
throwing things.
3! I actually rolled good. Woo!
Perception and perception.
Fiona's actually down below.
Got a nat
She's
20.
at the bottom.
Yeah. So
Hey, let's go.
everyone except Blossom and Xandal noticed
Obviously.
this, and Vienna because she's below. The rest of you, as you're sort of helping pull on ropes, and you're being taught by Bosun and the various spirits. The various spirits can't talk, but they're miming like what you need to do, and you're being taught and shown how to do the ropes and how to like you move the sails to catch the wind, and one of you's having to man the wheel under Bosun's very careful watch. But for those of you who got above a 16, out in the waves you see just a glint of green, like light hitting green glass. Just like something like bobbing on the waves.
Okay.
Ah. What
Ha-
did that?
How far out is it, did you say?
It's probably about it's ahead of you as you're sailing towards it, about 100 feet away at the moment. It'll pass by sort of the right side of the ship, probably about 30 feet distance.
Okay. Does the ship have any harpoons or anything to try and grab stuff from the water, or
I mean, there's
Or
plenty
nets.
of ropes around.
I could always jump off with some rope, try and grab it, and then fly back? If
Yeah,
people
is that what you want to do?
Yeah, give that a go.
Okay. So you quickly grab a rope, you quickly fly over the side and down, and as you get closer you see this is a corked green bottle, and there is something inside it.
Okay. I'm gonna come back up on deck.
Okay.
And
As the rest of you see Val land holding this, it looks like a general like green wine, rum, or whiskey bottle, but it's corked, and you can see some form of paper rolled up inside it.
do I detect anything? Do I sense anything from it, or is it just like a piece of glass and some paper?
As far as you can tell, it's just a piece of glass and a piece of paper.
What harm ever came from reading a piece of paper?
Famous last words.
Uncork and
Roll a
then wait.
D8 for me.
Right. One.
One. Okay. So you pull out the note and unfurl it, and it is written in common, in a very like chicken scratch writing, and you read through it, and it is a plea for help from you assume a stranded individual. However, they have not included any form of location. There is no
What?
description of their surroundings. It is merely
Not
a
very clever.
verbose plea for help, and that is it.
To be fair, what kind of description can you get? I can see the sea. I am surrounded by the sea.
The sea.
There's lots
is
of water. Please find me with these incredibly descriptive landmarks.
I see
There's
the
not even
sea.
like there's not even
Oh,
like
no.
I was on this ship heading from such and such to such and such. It's literally just like, help, I'm stranded, and that's it.
Stranded
Cool.
where?
Rolls it back up, puts it back in, cork.
Okay.
Unless anybody
Well,
else
it
has
ain't-
any ideas.
Which way is the tide moving?
The tide so it
Well,
was
I
heading
wouldn't know
towards.
because I'm down deck, so
Yeah.
ignore that comment.
So it was heading towards you, but like the current obviously is moving northwards here. You're sailing against the current, but where it could have possibly come from, you've got no clue.
Or how long it's been at sea,
Yeah.
so it could have.
The paper looks fairly old and ragged, but whether that's how it was when it was written on, or how it's become, you're not sure.
Cool.
Well, keep an eye out.
Stick it in my bag. It might come in handy.
Okay. You spend the rest of the day sailing ever onwards and making good progress as the day is nice and bright and sunny. And as you sail further and further south, you leave the cold north behind. And night falls as you all retire to your quarters below deck. I leave it up to you what happens for the rest of the day.
Xandal's just going to go to the smithing part of the ship and
Yeah, you head
just
to the
start
boat.
working on these various contraptions.
Okay.
I.e. providing insulation for Hagar in case he gets cold again, working on the hot plate, and he's also going to begin no, he's not going to do that actually yet.
Okay.
We'll
Roll
wait till
me
he's-
a intelligence check, please, for
Okay.
those two projects.
The Dharmama are helping.
Yep.
Thank God. So that's a 10.
10 again. You're not getting anywhere, but you're not going backwards either.
No.
Make me a perception check for both you and Hagar, who I'm assuming is with you.
Yeah. Oh, thank God for the reroll. 17. And perception for Hagar. Oh, he gets the 1 instead.
Yep. Hagar just seems to be like, because
One
you've been
extreme to the other.
working on Hagar, like he's taking a couple of seconds. You, however, as you sort of look at a piece of metal, that strange triangular eye-like symbol that you noticed on your hand, for just the briefest moment in your reflection, you swear it's on your cheek, and when you look back again, it's gone. It's not there.
I must be getting tired. I'm seeing things everywhere. Oh, let's go to bed. Been a long old week.
Okay.
To himself.
Yeah.
Hagar just sort of blinks back awake, looks at you, and just sort of like offers a hand to you, Xandal, as if to say, "Do you need help?"
No, I'm good. You charge yourself up.
Hagar just nods and clomps away back to your room.
Yeah, he sort of like takes a minute, just sort of like he looks at both marks while he's alone, and he kind of just dwells quietly for a moment before putting his gloves back on and then just making his way to the cots.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else doing anything?
I think Val's just going to take the time to sit and do some meditation and a little bit of prayer and bits and bobs.
Yeah. Okay.
Couldn't really do
Probably
much of that when it was
talk-
cold.
I'll probably talk to Bosun.
Bosun can't, again, he can manifest anywhere on the ship, so if you just call out to him, he'll appear.
Yeah. Bosun!
You just watch as like green flickers of like light flow from the planks and form into his like faceless sailor form. He goes, "Aye, how can I help you?"
Well, I was thinking you said about wanting to know stories about what we got up to, so I thought I'd fill you in on what happened.
"Oh, aye, story time!" And he sits cross-legged in the air, hands like this, and going, "Go on then."
And she'll like kind of put her diary down as well. I was like, it's quite funny to read the diary, as I explained, because you can see commentary. Like, diaries.
You watch as like the ghostly figure looks down, looks up, and goes, "Yeah," passes its hand in front of its face.
Oh,
Can't-
no
can't-
eyes.
like I can perceive all of you through the ship because you're people on
You
the
don't
ship.
see in the conventional sense, then?
Not really, no. I can see the surroundings of the ship and sense things and sense people on the ship. But I'm not exactly going to be able to read a book. Doesn't work.
All right
that
then.
way.
All right then. I'll read the book to you. Yeah. How about that?
All right, that sounds good to me.
I'll read the comments as well.
Oh, excellent. Wait, comments?
Yeah, the diary is sentient. It makes little sarcastic remarks and commentary over events. It
That's
basically
hilarious.
it writes down everything that I see myself, so it's only from my perspective. But yeah, it likes to say things occasionally. It's quite funny.
Ah, fair enough. Well, please go ahead. I'm all ears.
All right, well, and then she'll start reading it to him.
Okay.
What
So
do
you
the comments say? Like
Well,
probably like up for the giant bit, and then I'll like try and act it out as well, and just be like, and we were like, oh shit, and we ran, and
Yeah.
the giants, and
So you already know what the comments say about the giant.
yeah, and then get to the point where we get to Yashvar, and then
Yeah.
and it was like he was big, and he had tentacles and a big eye, and
And Bosun is a captive and well-receiving audience, making all the right noises and reactions at the right time, like, oh, yeah, oh no, sort of thing, just like proper getting into the story. Anything
then,
anyone
like,
else?
yeah.
Sorry? Yep.
No, I was just saying whether there were any comments from the diary. and stuff.
No more interesting
Was it just
ones
like,
that
yep,
are different
that's a
from
good
the
idea?
ones that you've already... Like, you already, like, read the ones from when you encountered the giant and when you encountered Glacarex. Like, there's not really any new major ones in that area.
Oh, then maybe I'll tell them about the... Oh, and there's one more thing with this diary that's really clever, is I can change things. And then she'll explain how we actually lost the horses, and then we somehow got them back. Because I'm sure he would have been like, but you said you lost the horses earlier, how did you get them back?
He's like, well, that sounds like a pretty good item. I'd keep nice hold on that.
Then she'll like tuck it back in her cleavage.
Okay.
I
Anyone
can
else doing
imagine the book's just got a sarcastic comment about having to be read aloud to someone.
Or the fact that I keep it between my bosom.
I mean, do you check for a comment like that? As you get to that point where it says, I tucked the book back between my bosom for safekeeping, there is a comment that says, Gunter, eat your heart out. Okay. Anyone doing anything else, or is everyone just going to take their long rest for the evening?
Yeah, Vienna's probably just gonna like lay on her bed and just kind of listen to the waves against the ship. Just kind of trying to clear her mind because she's just been like thinking and dwelling a lot. She's just gonna try and stop it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I
fair
think I'm just gonna have like get her big book out with all her sweets, and what she started doing is like grabbing different types of sweets and trying to combine them together with some of like the spices and like some of the stuff from her pouch to see if she can make like super sweets and stuff.
Okay.
So like she'll take out caramel, like start off
about to
she'll
say-
take off like caramel and start adding salt to it to try and make like salted caramel and stuff and just see how that works and like how different mixtures like taste to her and
Want to be seat sock when I grow up?
The question I've got there is, how seriously is she doing this? Is she just playing around, or is she seriously like trying to combine things?
So probably the first night she's just gonna see if she can make something that tastes better than the original, and if she's kind of successful on like some of the simpler things, the second night and the third night she's probably gonna start being a little bit more serious about it and trying to...
Okay. Alright, so yeah, she does manage to find like the usual sort of things, like adding salt to things like dark chocolate and caramel enhances the flavour. Little things like that, like adding cinnamon to things is interesting. But yeah.
Yeah.
As you all go to sleep in your various cabins, in your beds, hammocks, whatever you choose for your cabin to have, as that is the way the ship works. You
I'll probably
all
be top deck by the ladder, like I did on the whatever the other ship was called. The name escapes me right now.
on the Rift Runner.
Yes.
Yep. So you're up there, but again, the crew are still the ghost crew are still moving around, and Bosun is constantly there. They do not need to sleep. They are keeping the ship moving, and they are keeping at least an eye out. Like, you think that things probably could sneak past them, but you also know that the magic of the ship prevents anything from entering the crew quarters. There is a magical ward on that that prevents them accessing that. They can access the cargo holds, so your horses aren't safe, and they can access the top deck, but the crew quarters are, in some way, shape, or form, warded. It would take very powerful magic or a very powerful creature to breach that. Okay. Dawn comes the next morning, with Bosun ringing the dawn bell to awaken you all and make you aware that a new day has arrived. So you all, if you need it, have completed a long rest. And I need someone, as you all get up, get ready for the day, have a quick breakfast of sort of hardtack and cheese and dried meat, and obviously the usual oranges and apples that are kept aboard ships to, ward off scurvy. You all go top deck and begin helping sail the ship for its second day of travel. I need someone to roll today's D20 for me.
Will you background, or has anyone missed
Yeah,
one?
might as well.
Oh, well. There's one.
13. Okay. As you guys are sailing along, you're starting to see the coastline alongside of you is becoming... There's no towns as such, but you are seeing like the odd hamlet or like fishing village every now and then. And as the day progresses, you come sort of towards a small bay. Like, there's a couple, you're sort of sailing between the coastline and a couple of islands. And you can see there is a small cove on what would be the eastern side of the ship. So as you're sailing south, that'll be on your left. And you can see within that cove there is a houseboat floating there. There's a number of boats floating around it, hitched up to some makeshift jetty docks around it. They range from small rowboats to medium-sized fishing boats. And there is a sign above the houseboat that proclaims the name of this place, the Siren's Call.
Like a tavern out at sea.
Not sure.
Shall we go a bit closer and see what the reception gives?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Bosun angles your much larger ship across there and pull as you get closer.
Slowly.
You can... Slowly.
Though.
Yeah, slowly.
Not intimidating or anything. Well, as
Crash into the
unintimidating
side
as you
of it.
can be when you're a giant ghost ship.
Yeah. You can see a couple of people sort of moving around boats that are jettied up, and they sort of look over at the ship, and you can see their sort of eyes widen, but they make no move, no threatening moves or anything.
Wave at them or something to try and show we're friendly.
You can see there's a range of humanoids. You can see humans, a couple of dwarves, what looks like a few halflings, all sort of wearing typical fisherman sort of outfits, sailors outfits, that sort of thing. There's a couple of them sort of wave back at you. As you pull up next to one of these makeshift jetties, Bosun drops the anchor, and you see ropes get thrown down and the plank lowered so you can get down, and you quickly tie yourselves to the jetty. And you can see the opening of this houseboat. There is a swing door, like a tavern, and you can hear from within voices talking, chatting, a couple of people singing sea shanties. It seems fairly welcoming.
Want to check it out?
We've anchored, so
I know, I'm just meaning, do you want to go inside straight away? Do you want to talk to the people outside first? Could ask them. We don't want to just assume that it's welcome to everybody. Maybe it's just for these guys. Might be their home?
Yeah. Do you want to go and ask, or does somebody want to go and ask? I'm just thinking
I'm
the
going
Dragonborn
to
with the
say-
wings is probably not the best person to go up to a random stranger and go, "Hey, can I be here?"
Yeah,
You
not
are-
a drow, really.
Yeah,
Or
you.
me being a
Yeah.
giant devil.
Yeah, Val, you are getting a couple of like side looks, like more so than Vienna or Blossom or Urt or Talia for that matter. Like you can see amongst the crowd, there's a single other tiefling. There's no tabaxi or drow or anything, but people seem a bit more accepting of them than you, and you get the feeling this is the typical anti-dragonborn stigmatism. You're more out in the boonies here. It's more of a thing. They're not openly hostile to you, but they're very much like, you can see them sort of glancing at you every now and then and just sort of like shaking their heads and just going about their business.
Hail friends, I guess? Kind of
More-
wave again as we walk towards them.
A young looking halfling man, probably late teens, sort of looks up at you as he's sort of untying a rowboat, and he goes, "Hail, mistress. How can I help you?"
Oh, we just saw you and, is this the tavern? Like, we were curious.
Aye, this is the Siren's Call. Bit of a tavern for fishermen, sailors, traders in the area. I'm just from a little village, about hour's walk off of the coast. I come here because, my dad doesn't like me drinking, so I can't go to the local tavern. But I can get by here.
Sneaky drink, huh?
You can see he's slightly intoxicated. He's drunk enough that he's got a buzz, but he's been very careful that you get the feeling that buzz will have worn off by the time he's walked home. Sort of thing. He's been very careful with the amount he's imbibed.
Is it, are we allowed to pop in for a drink, or?
As far as I'm aware, I think everyone's welcome as long as, keep weapons away and don't start trouble.
I mean, of course.
Lashtan has never said no one's not allowed.
Lashtana? Is that the, like the...
Hey,
Mayor?
Lashtana. Lashtana, she's the owner.
Oh! Is he nice?
As
go in
nice
for a
as the
drink.
merfolk can be.
We go for a drink then, guys?
Yep. Vienna's already started walking. She's like, yep.
I'll
okay.
quickly hurry up and catch Vienna up.
We could potentially ask
Xandal
about.
just kind of waves you all off and he goes back down to the workshop.
Okay.
We could potentially ask about the message in the bottle, but it's doubtful that anybody would recognise the handwriting.
It's
But
left in a bottle, yeah.
Yeah, might be a
Yeah.
good idea, though. We could ask.
Let them know at least. They'll, well, depending on how long it's been drifted, that might be the closest to finding them.
Maybe they'll recognize it. Let's ask the bar. Let's get a drink and ask the bar owner. Bar owners tend to know a lot.
yeah,
Okay. As you guys walk in, you see it is the room is like a decent size. There's about sort of 15 or so tables in here. There's a bar against the back wall. You can see that there is a couple of swing doors that you assume go into a kitchen. As you can see, a small male goblin rushing around with plates of what looks like... You look at it for a second and it looks like raw fish. And there's some bits where it's like carefully arranged on rice.
Fishy.
Sashimi!
They're like
Fish
little...
is canon!
And you can see, like, there is a large, like, part of this kitchen. You can see through into it a little bit, but that's because there's like a large glass tank filled with water, and there are fish and crustaceans and mollusks swimming or floating around in it. You do not see anyone behind the bar currently as you enter.
This is
Probably
always
just-
a weird eating establishment.
Hey, like exotic food's always interesting. Well, for those that need to eat. Curious. Let's go to the bar. Maybe if we wait a bit there, someone will come along. Maybe
you
there's a
guys-
bell or something.
As you guys approach the bar, you look down on the other side of it, and there is no floor behind the bar. There is
Okay.
open ocean. Like there is like an area behind it which is just open to the water below, and you see a shadow beneath the water, and it comes up with a mighty splash, and then floating in front of you, her arm now resting on the bar, dripping drips of salt water. Sort of red hair flowing down, golden coloured skin with webbed hands, is a female merfolk wearing a white shirt with a black waistcoat, keeping her modesty. And she goes, "Welcome, welcome. I'm Lashtana. Welcome to the Siren's Call. Oh, you're a bunch of new faces. You're not any of my usual patrons. You're that weird ghosty-looking ship out there, are you?
Yes, that's our ship, the Misadventure.
Well, nice to meet you. Again, my name's Lashtana. This is my little, home on the water when I'm not, below the water. Can I interest you in
Well,
any?
you got the name then.
Yes, I'm not actually a siren myself, but I've met a few. Quite nice when they're not, singing on a rock.
What drinks do you have available?
Well, we have barrels of ale. We've got a couple of bottles of whiskey, rum. The usual sort of things that sailors and fishermen like.
Hmm.
Can I have
And
a
obviously
whiskey?
a whiskey.
I'll take an
eh?
ale.
Yes,
All right,
please.
and she quickly puts together your drinks order. Vienna, what do you want?
I'll have a rum.
And Blossom?
Yeah, rum.
She dishes those out and puts them on the bar in front of you. And she goes, "Can I interest you in any food? Our chef's a little bit weird, but Gruck's very good at what he does. Anything with fish, and he's an absolute marvel. Obviously, everything freshly caught in this cove."
Oh.
Fiona kind of looks
What's-
over at what that other person served us. Like, I'll give that a go.
So you want some? That's tuna and salmon sashimi with some squid. Okay. And she quickly writes that down, and you calls into the back, and she goes, "Gruck, another couple of plates."
Anything spicy?
Hey, we don't really have much in the way of spices out here, I'm
Or
afraid.
really flavorful?
We can do you some fatty tuna, if that's...
Sure, I'll try that.
Alright. Grug, fatty, give us the best.
Do you have anything that's like, we've just come from somewhere really cold, like I'm looking for like a bowl of something that's nice and hot and warm, or do you do anything like that, or is it just...
See, we're on a houseboat here. Don't really have an oven.
Okay.
That's why we do all the raw stuff. It was a godsend finding Grug, I can tell you. Most people would, do the whole thing of like stews and that sort of thing. Grug, though, he works without any flame.
Well, I'll just go for whatever you recommend.
It's at this point the swing doors from the kitchen open up and a scaled head pokes its way out. Not a dragonborn. This is a lizard man. Black scales going along and a big red frill, and he looks out and goes, "Did I hear fatty tuna?" Yes, Gluck, that's the one. Please send it out with junk when it's ready. Right. And he goes back, and you hear like the like sounds of like chopping and prepping. About 20 minutes later, this small goblin male comes scuttling out, wearing just like you can tell he's made an effort. It looks like a waiter's uniform, but it's cobbled together from so many different colours and types of fabric. It's ridiculous.
I
And he
love
just
him already.
comes scuttling up with these like plates balanced all over him, one on his head, and he starts placing them down and goes, "Here, all for you. Yes. Good.
Right, how much?
Lashtana goes, "In total for all of that, 5 silver.
Really?
Aye? I mean, it's not
Okay,
exactly
I'll,
the best ale and rum that we get out here. We're not we're not a big city tavern. And we catch all the stuff fresh in the cove, so we don't charge much for it."
I'll cover everybody's
Okay.
then.
Yeah, okay.
Mainly because I've got
Okay, then
5
I was
silver
about-
pieces to get rid of.
I was just looking as
money.
like I've just got gold,
Yeah.
which is really
See,
I
annoying.
am loaded right now.
Yeah.
She takes the silver and goes, "Well, thank you kindly. Please, enjoy." And you watch as she sort of like swims off down the bar to another patron who's beckoned her.
Let's go find somewhere to sit. I guess
Yeah,
we'll go to an available table or something
Yeah,
and sit down
There's
and munch on our
there's
food.
a couple of available tables. Like I say, there's a few people in here. Again, mostly like you can see fishermen and sailors. Just sort of obviously, this is obviously a place that is for the fishermen. It's a good place to come and have a lunch break. And you hear like one of them like make a joke to the other and go, "I'm gonna tell the missus the siren's call got me again," as they clank ales together and have a good chug. And you get the feeling this is like the place where local fishermen come and tell their wives that, "Oh, I was called away by the siren's call, and really we were just having a pint," sort of thing. And you can see like it's obviously part of like a trade route, because there is like trading ships here, and you can see that again they stop here. It's a place to get fresh food on a long voyage. It's a pretty decent idea, but obviously not one that many people could implement.
Hey, Val.
Yeah.
Didn't you want to ask them about that message in a bottle you found?
Oh yeah, and Val basically hurries into his bag, finds the message in the bottle, and just goes up to the bar front.
Okay. Lashtana finishes. You can see she's been talking to this like handsome young dwarf, and she's been leant over the bar, sort of like curling his beard in her finger, and it's like you can tell, like, yeah, she's not a siren, but she's playing the part well, sort of thing. He sees you and then like gives him like a pat on the head, and then like comes swimming over and goes, "Oh well, hello. Don't get many dragonborn here. No, not, obviously, dragonborns are pretty rare, and I just obviously please don't make any problems with my customers if they say anything. It's
I
obviously I'm from
understand.
below the
I
waves.
get it all the time.
Yeah, I'm from the below the waves. I've got no problem with you, unlike the surface dwellers. But
I know it's a long shot, but we were sailing and we found this, and I put the bottle on the counter.
takes it, uncorks it, pulls out the note, and goes, "Hey, you get these every now and then.
I didn't know what
obviously-
to do with it, so I thought whilst we're here,
Yeah.
I don't know the waves very well, so
Obviously there's not much we can do. Obviously I'll put the word out that there may be someone stranded, but if they've already resorted to this, it's a good chance that they're off the beaten path anyway. So
how
I'll put,
do the sailors here like go out for random one-off jobs or anything like that, or you know,
Not-
if I was to put a bit of coin towards it, would somebody be able to just have a look around and see if they could find this individual? Or
I mean, if you're wanting to put up a reward,
Guess we
I can have a word with some of the the more not necessarily adventurous boys, but one of the ones, a couple of the ones who know the seas a bit better, and they could maybe have a look around. But
obviously it's not much to go by, so not excessive. How much would that kind of set me back, do you think? Or
well, most of the lads here will probably go out on the waves and the surrounding islands for probably about 5-10 gold. They'd be willing to do it.
and Val will grab out 20 gold.
Oh, my. Oh, okay. Well, I'll make sure that all the lads and lasses are aware, and if anyone wants to, go along and do it, and if they find anyone, I'll keep hold of this and pay it out if they find them. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't, at least the people have had a good day's work and they can come and spend it with you and get some beers inside them and some food, can't they?
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put it down as a tab, and anyone who can prove to me that they've actually, been out and looked, I'll let them spend from the tab to a limit of, let's say, 5 silver for the night.
Okay, that sounds
That sounds fair?
good. Yeah.
All right. Anything else I can get you whilst you're here at me bar?
No, I think that's everything. I think we've got everything we need. I'm just going to tuck into the food now.
Oh, well, enjoy.
Will do. And Val comes back.
Yeah. The food, by the way, is delicious. It is perfectly prepared. The slices of sashimi are thin. There is just this slight, like, dark dipping sauce to use with it. The fatty tuna is perfect. It is, as you said, everything here is freshly caught. Like, you don't know whether it's been caught, like, literally that moment or, like, that morning, but it is all fresh, freshly prepared. And you can tell Gruck is very good at his craft.
This is really good.
Say, I'm a fan.
Maybe we'll have to tell. We should tell Gunther about this. Maybe he can broaden his menu a bit, see if he can get the fishermen to catch fish. So fish
Maybe.
like this, I've never seen anything like this in Maham. Maybe we can start a trend.
Well, didn't she say that because she's got this special chef, is there like a special way of making this? Maybe it's not as straightforward as.
What, just cutting it? You think there's like some special ingredients?
Or... Yeah.
Ask the chef, I suppose. What do you think? Do you think he'll talk to us? Maybe it's a secret and he doesn't want to share his methods.
Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, I know. I'll go see if I can ask to see the chef.
Okay. Over, and the little goblin comes running up to you and goes, "Everything all right? Everything all right?"
It's
later.
lovely. I was just wondering. Is there a special way that you do this? Can anyone prepare fish like this? Do you just cut it? Is there like special ingredients? I'm really curious.
One moment. And he scuttles. For him, like, the swing doors are there, but he goes under them. He's not tall enough to actually hit the swing doors. And you hear him out the back go, "Crack! Crack!" And you hear some muted conversation, and then this lizard man comes out again. And you see now he's like, quite well muscled, wearing only a loincloth. You couldn't see it before, just like through the swing doors. But he's literally wearing a loincloth, and attached to it is a number of different knives. And he goes, "Who wants to know about my..."
Me?
He just crooks a claw and beckons you into the kitchen.
To just kind of look at Fiona, waggle her eyebrows, and be like, "I'll be right back," and then she'll go follow it.
Good luck.
As you go in, you can see in one corner there's this big pot of what looks like cooked rice. And again, there are no ovens or flames in here, so you get the feeling this must be prepared well ahead of time on the land, and then he brings it out to this boat and keeps it cool. And you can see it's actually like placed in like a vat of seawater, which is keeping it cool and like making sure it's fresh. And you can see like he's got access to this tank, and he reaches in and plucks out an octopus, brings it out, puts it down on the thing, and quickly, deftly brings one of the knives and just like seamlessly just like kills it. And then you watch as he deftly just starts dissecting it, carefully removing things like the ink sac, removing the organs, carefully prepping the meat. It's all just done with very dexterous, careful night work with an intimate knowledge of fish. And he quickly preps it into these like little bite-sized pieces, and then you watch as he drains the ink and adds like different like bits of salt and like herbs to it, and serves it up for you and goes, just goes like that, just goes,
You just like raise an eyebrow. You're very good with your hands.
"Thank you. Most of my tribe prepare food like this.
You don't waste a thing, do you?
Waste is sinful."
Well, to like quickly eat it then. Oh, I don't want this to go to waste.
You watch as he takes he takes the organs and like the brains and all that sort of stuff, and he puts them into another pot. Like you can see like in there is like loads of fish guts and all sorts, but he's put them in there, and again it's submerged in seawater to keep it cool and keep it fresh.
Do you use that parts for?
That
for
is
fishing?
my dinner.
You don't eat what you prepare?
You watch as he reaches in, plucks out like a thing of fish guts, and just goes.
Well, each to their own, I guess. Do you have like a cookbook? Do you mind if I take notes? I'd very much like to share this method with a friend of mine.
I don't mind if you watch.
Nice.
Okay? So you probably spend like the next
I'll just like.
hour
Well, I
or
don't need
two.
to take notes, do I? My diary's taking notes, but it's just more
Yeah.
asking for permission, just in case he thought he was trying to subvertly steal his trade secrets or something.
Do you guys spend the next hour or two in this tavern enjoying drinks and plates of this sushi and sashimi? Not that you know that's what it's called.
We're just
Well,
calling that for the sake.
Yeah. Whilst Talia is watching Gruck preparing dish after dish. And again, he plucks things out of this tank and prepares. There's so many different, like, shellfish and fish in there that each time he plucks something out, it's different, and he's just prepping it perfectly. You can tell he's spent lots of time, like, learning exactly what comes out of the ocean and how best to prepare it for the best flavor, effectively. Like, at one point, he plucks out like oysters and carefully and quickly brings out like scallops from them, and like is carefully preparing them, and like he's got like jars of like different fluids and all sorts, and it's just like sometimes you'll ask him like the name of something, but he doesn't use names like you do. He just sort of goes preserving fluid, spicy water, things like that. Like he obviously
Icy water.
like
Is it spicy?
But like you have a sniff and you can smell it's vinegary. It's obviously some form of like homemade vinegar, but again, he doesn't use that word because for him this is just his own tribal recipes.
Well, thank you for sharing. I'll I'll leave you to it.
Enjoy the food.
Oh,
Everything he's prepared whilst you've been watching, by the way, he just hands to you.
I'm just gonna come out with it and be like, well, we hit the jackpot, Fiona. Look, and she'll just put it down and be like, he's really good with his hands. And then she'll like waggle her eyebrows suggestively at Fiona first. And then
Vienna, you've been watching them the whole time through the tank. Nothing's happened.
Oh, right. She just likes winding her up. Or more for the other guys if they weren't watching or something.
Yeah.
These are really cool. I took notes.
And we get a lot of food, so...
Free food? Sometimes complimenting the chef helps.
Xandal, whilst they've been doing this, what have you been doing aboard the Misadventure?
So, he kind of like... He goes into the... into, like, what he's going to call his office now.
Yeah.
And before he even starts working on anything, he's just taking a moment to sort of, like, dwell on his thoughts and just sort of, like, focus himself. He even, for a moment, pulls out the conch shell.
Yeah.
He looks at it, almost goes to ask a question to it, thinks better of it, and just puts it away. And then just quietly gets to work on his thing. He's barely even talking to Hagar like he normally would. He's just so lost in his own thoughts.
Okay. So go ahead and roll intelligence check for your work on your project.
Yeah. $18.
Okay. So you make really good progress today. You feel like you've managed to insulate Hagar enough that he's not going to like freeze in those cold temperatures again, but it is not going to hinder him either.
Okay.
And the hot plate, you've got it to the point where you're just beginning to sort of inscribe activation runes on the rubies you've got for it.
Yeah.
Make me, both you and Hagar, perception check again.
Perception. Yeah, not me. Hagar.
Okay. Neither of you notice anything out of the ordinary, and you manage to put the finishing touches to the glyphs on the rubies. They're just needing charging and placing into the casements, ready to finish the production.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of you inside the Siren's Call, now replete with sushi and sashimi.
Well, shame Xandal's missed out.
Hey, we should probably keep some for him. He's probably not eating while he works on his little things. Or like make him like a little doggy bag.
Yeah.
Doggy bag of raw fish.
Doggy bag of raw fish. Like, here, eat this when we get back.
Okay. Are you guys gonna? How long are you guys intending to stay at the Siren's Call past that sort of 2 hours that you were already there?
I suppose after eating too much, Vienna's probably gonna be like, "Oh, I think I need to go lay down." So
Okay.
Yeah, go walk it off.
yeah, a very slow walk back to the boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
You-
I'll
you
hurry down
see-
and go and give
you
Xandal his
see-
fish.
Like a number of other patrons are doing very much the same. Like the food here is fairly cheap and is plentiful and tastes really good. So you get the feeling like there's a lot of like local villages that come here for just like a really tasty, interesting new meal every now and then when they have time. And again, when they come here, they make sure they get plenty. But you guys quickly get back aboard the misadventure. Talia coming into the workshop and basically slapping Xandal in the face with a wet fish. In essence.
Xandal, my boy, you missed out. Look at all this food. It's really delicious. Try to ignore the fact it's raw, but you should eat something. You never eat enough.
I never thought about Blossom and
Yeah.
Living in his blossom in heaven right now.
Blossom,
Fish.
actually that would be something. When Gruck saw you, he sends out a whole salmon. Like you know how they do it, where it's like presented. You've got the head and the tail, and then there is just the carefully prepared gravlax in the middle. Just sends that out to you.
I imagine Blossom's in heaven.
Yep.
sorted.
Just like, we're all like just talking amongst ourselves, and then every so often Blossom will just look up and be like, hmm?
Xandal kind of looks at the fish. Would he know of sushi coming from
Nope.
his background? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just
He's
try
going
it,
to
like-
attempt to activate the hot plate.
You're going to attempt to activate the hot
it.
plate.
Yeah.
Okay. So you activate the hot plate, and they do begin glowing red.
Okay.
Try
yeah.
it raw first. Come on, darling.
You're supposed to cook fish.
Seriously, trust me. Try this, and she'll like
I'm
hand
a
him a piece.
halfling.
Eat
I
the
know
damn
all
fish,
about
and then she'll
fishing.
like just shove it in his mouth and be like, "Trust me." Force
Make
feed him it.
right. Let's make contested athletics acrobatics checks. So
Wait, what am I
Talia,
rolling versus him?
you're rolling athletics. Xandal can roll athletics or acrobatics here. This is technically a
athletics,
kind of
athletics.
grapple.
19. My multiplier's higher than yours, though. Does that count?
Yeah,
for anything?
Meets it.
I'm gonna say meets it, beats it. Yeah. So
Ah.
Xandal, you grab
We're just
her
having
hand
a
and try and
tete-a-tete.
fend her off, but she's just that little bit too strong, and it keeps inching towards your mouth, and you're like turning your head, trying to
That's
avoid
being
it.
a big baby.
Just a question: would that have been at disadvantage for Xandal because he was holding the hot plate and the hot plate was on? So
He
needs
wasn't
to make
holding the hot plate. He
No,
turned
he
the hot
just
plate
turned it
on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
But eventually, she
Seriously.
manages to
Respect the
push
chef.
this bit of like squid between your lips, and it tastes amazing.
What?
See?
Wait, what?
I told you. You need to trust me, Xandal. I'm not always trying to break things, you know. He's just stunned into silence. It's so good.
Yeah, he's just like. Huh. And he starts looking through the doggy bag.
Haggard just comes over and like takes the doggy bag and carefully pours it out onto a plate and separates it by type, and then
Yeah.
comes over and picks a bit up and offers it to your lips.
He's like, no.
Oh no, there's not going to be
feed
another
myself.
food war between Hagar and M, is there?
M
I
is
can
just sort
feed
of like
myself.
stood in a corner, just sort of watching, going, "Huh? Is this some form of food ritual?"
I don't really know. It's not
It depends
really
on
a
the
ritual,
location.
It's just,
Yeah.
you know what Xandal's like. He doesn't eat enough, and he has to eat food to recharge his batteries, right?
I see. I will endeavour
So
to make
sometimes
sure
you got to
Xandal
make sure
eats
that
enough.
he eats.
You watch
you
as
do that.
M walks out the room, comes back a couple of minutes later with a giant joint of like dried salt
Not all
pork.
the time.
I'll just be like face palming. That's not what I meant.
She walks towards you, Xandal, holding this like she goes open wide, Xandal.
No. We're just
I'll
like
stick
both
with
like
the fish
stop.
just for now. Thank you, though.
Very well.
Little, not that much. Like eating too much is also bad.
Oh,
Got to get the right amount. Just remind
organics
him
are
to eat.
confusing.
Yes. So are
Little
machines.
and often.
I see.
Yes.
How often?
Not
3
Are we
times a day.
talking? At what times?
Say beginning of the day, middle of the day, end of the day, kind of thing.
I mean,
Very
while
well.
all this conversation is going on, while he is eating the sushi and enjoying it, he has taken a bit of the fish and is just testing the hot plate out.
Yeah,
cooking
It
it
hits
to
and it
perfection.
sizzles and roll me a performance check, Xandal, because this is gonna be you're gonna have to try to cook
Try not
this
to
fish
burn it.
now.
Okay, I'm going to use a Domamu on
And-
this one.
This is at disadvantage because you're used to cooking over open flame. You're now using a
Yeah.
hot plate. This is very different.
Okay, yeah. Domamu.
Burns the ship down.
A 5.
5.
Oh,
As you
Yeah.
sort of put it there and you think, oh, if it's like anything like an open flame, this is gonna take an hour. About 2 minutes later, what's burning? You flip it over and it is just burnt to ruination. And Blossom, you can smell burnt fish from the top deck of the ship.
Here rolls down my cheek at this trap.
I did tell you not to cook it. Like, maybe not so long. Like, maybe this is better than fire, so hotter.
Yes, it heats up quite quickly. It doesn't... It's a learning curve. Oh well, but it seems to be working. Great.
Excellent.
That'll be ready
What-
for...
Did you want it for again?
That will be ready for your other half when we get back home.
Oh, for good.
Yes. It was requested.
He's going to be so happy. We're bringing him new recipes, new ways to prepare food, and a new cooking device. It should be fun.
It's at this
Always
point you guys
like
feel
bring
the
him
ship
something.
begin moving. As now you're all back aboard. Bosun's assumed you want to leave, so
Yeah.
he has set off
Yeah.
again. The rest of the day passes without incident, and you guys are able to go to your rest later on, happy and some of you full of fish, some of you with Emily constantly coming along and proffering snacks from... Like, Emily makes a point throughout the day of, like, she goes and, like, gets, like, bits of, like, tack and cheese and meat and is constantly, like, popping in on each of you with them on a plate and just, like, is
Oh,
it
she's
time?
doing it for all
Food?
of us.
Food
Oh
time?
no! I don't
Aw,
need
Em.
food. Oh, I'm gonna confuse her now because she's not gonna understand. Oh,
Oh,
no!
that's very sweet.
It is sweet. I'm gonna be like, not for me. I don't need food. I'm the only one who doesn't eat food. Everyone else does. I don't. I do enjoy spicy
Why
food,
not?
so a treat every now and then. I'm not really. I'm not
Just say,
conventionally alive.
Em reaches out and places her hand against your pulse and goes, "You do not have a pulse."
Yeah, I'm dead. Well,
She then places a hand on your chest.
no,
Clear. Fuck. You take
Ow,
3 lightning damage.
God damn it!
She then puts her fingers back against your neck and goes, "Your heart still is not beating."
It's
Please
not meant to. No, Em, it's fine. Look, I'm talking to you. If I was dead, it's complicated, okay? It's a
Please
god
explain.
thing. Basically, a long time ago, I died, and then I woke up again, but still dead. If that makes any sense to you, which it probably doesn't. Some divine intervention. I don't really know why. Or how, something to do with my past, I'm sure. I'll figure it out later, but it's just complicated.
I see.
I can just see Emily now just going around pulse checking everyone. Trying to feed them while taking their pulse.
Right.
Thank you, Nurse M.
I am
As
in
that-
between. I am neither alive nor dead. Put it that way.
As that goes on during the evening, is there anything anyone else would like to accomplish?
There is one thing.
Oh.
Yes.
Xandal eventually sort of like leaves the workshop sort of like early evening.
Mm-hmm.
And as he walks up towards deck, he kind of just like calls for Val and both to sort of like follow him up.
Okay.
Okay.
Comes bounding after you, going, What is it?
I need... It's hard to put. And he kind of like puts his actual, like, his new hammer to like one side and takes out his former hammer. And he kind of looks at Valdesian and he's like, I want to see how far behind I am.
In what sense?
Rules are simple. Magic-wise, buff, debuff, healing. No offensive spells.
Okay.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay.
Hence
Are we on
for,
the Are we on the top deck? Are we?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to give you guys a
Yeah.
map.
Yeah.
Visual.
I think it would be at like this kind of point that Val would have realised why
I do that.
Xandal has been so quiet.
Yes. Thank you to Annette for drawing this. Like, this is brilliant. I needed a decent map, and she provided. So, yay!
Yeah.
I'm drowning. I'm in the sea.
Yeah.
Why is there
Why
a
is
copy
there
of your
two of me?
token there?
Oh,
Yeah, there we go. I've
Ah,
deleted
that's
that one.
mine. I didn't have control of that one. Here we go. I was going to say, what's going on there?
Anyway.
Overboard.
What's happening?
So is Ert
as
taking
you can
part in this?
she's standby as healer in case.
Right. So she's
something
going to
goes
move over
wrong.
there out the way.
Yeah.
You all watch
hence
as Bosun
Xandal put his hammer down.
Bosun forms like right next to you and goes, "Oh, sparring! Yeah,
Are you sure you don't want to add any other rules?
Try not to kill each other.
Okay.
You have to ask that.
Would you like me to count you in, gentlemen?"
Are we
Oh, I
actually
want to get a
doing
good seat.
initiative?
I'm gonna move over here because I want to get a good look.
Okay.
I'll watch.
So you watch as Bosun
The book.
raises a hand.
Then it'll be in the diary.
Yep. So we've got 14 for Val. Oh, Xandal. Oh, Xandal.
Straight down.
I mean, it's
Bosun
1v1, so initiative don't really matter, does it?
Again. Well, it does. It does for seeing who goes first, but after that,
Yeah, I
it
know,
doesn't
but
matter.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I said, are you sure you don't want any other rules? Val goes 30 foot up.
That's not really fair. Come on.
I said
No,
he wants...
it's count. Counts.
And for his first round, almost because he wants to know how serious he is just going to grab like some random object out of his pocket and just throw it at him. It's like
Okay.
a rock or just something, and just like lightly throw at him and just be like,
All right. Roll me a straight dex check. So just a dexterity,
me.
because you're just using an improvised weapon here.
Yeah.
Thrown improvised weapon.
20.
There's a 20 hit, Xandal?
Getting a bird's eye view,
Shield.
that's the crow's nest.
Shield,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You watch as Xandal throws up a shield. By the way, you guys have been getting the benefit of being on the ferry, which
I was
is
just going to say, do we get temp hit points?
Yeah, 1 temp hit point per level. Per
I
character.
don't have any hit point. I
I'll
don't
put
have
my
any at the
temp hit
moment then,
points
because that
then.
would have been depleted, but I'll give myself 1 HP back.
That's 9.
Wait, no. Yeah.
Okay, so Xandal quickly throws up a shield which deflects whatever it is away. I'm assuming it's probably just like a sweep that you got from Urt.
Yeah, or a
at some point.
stone, or like just a pebble, or just something random. Just be like, I've now got the high ground.
Yeah. Okay. That's the end of Valdizian's turn, unless you've got anything else you want to do.
Nope, I want to see what he's got.
Nope. Okay, Xandal.
Okay.
I'd put on combat music, but this doesn't feel like combat, so...
Xandal just kind of looks up at Valdish and he's like, take this seriously. And he then works onto his second spell.
Okay. So, you are now concentrating on that spell, as you watch as Xandal's form just, like, becomes indistinct, and it looks like everywhere, every time he moves, he's leaving like a trail of after images behind him, and it's really hard to figure out which image is actually Xandal. Like, there's constantly just like this slight blur around him that makes it really hard to figure out exactly where to hit.
And he kind of sort of like moves.
Is the blur just a visual effect?
It is. When you get within 10 feet, blind fighting will kick in.
Yeah. So in that case, I will come down to within 10 feet of him and Mortimer.
Okay. So you do not have disadvantage on the attack because, you know, blind sight.
Yeah. 21.
That will hit.
And swing
12,
again.
Yeah.
14.
14 will miss.
Okay.
Concentration check for your blur, please, Xandal.
Yep. It's a saving throw, isn't it?
Yeah. Con save.
7.
Fails. Your blur fades.
Oh, hi there.
Hello there. Okay.
Val is sort of hovering 5 feet away from you, probably just 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So he's within striking distance.
Okay. So. Yeah, it's literally just going to be a light hammer attack.
Okay.
I don't know why that's at a +3 when it should be at 7. Okay, so it's just going to have to. That would. I'm assuming at an 11 that would miss.
That misses.
Yeah. Secondary attack. 21.
Meets it, beats it.
Okay. +3.
Cool.
So as he sort of like swings, you can tell that he's sort of like now gotten used to the bigger hammer, and if that had actually properly connected, it may have actually hurt.
Okay. Anything else, Xandal, or is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
Okay. Val, your turn.
Cool. So offensive and defensive spells, you said, was it?
Offensive is banned. Basically anything like fireball. Smite probably would be allowed if the DM rules it that they aren't going to put you straight into death saving throws.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if he says it's non-lethal, then it's non-lethal.
Yeah, but I know certain spells are considered lethal regardless. Same with sort of like ranged attacks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the kind of thing.
So, bonus action Shield of Faith.
Okay, Shield of Faith on yourself.
A little bit of ego there, Val.
Not if I'm raising my own armor class.
No, No, I mean, just the way you were saying it, you're like, shield of faith. Little man.
No, it's more, he got a hit off. I was not really expecting him to hit me in the first turn, so I've gone Shield of Faith. Cool. So that's that. And then... You know what? We'll see how he reacts to this. Breath weapon.
Okay. So,
Not to
dexterity
break the ship,
saving
pal.
throw.
Okay.
At least it's lightning, so.
Yeah.
Which I believe it's a DC 12 for a breath
14.
weapon. 14. Still saves. So
Okay.
half damage.
Cool. So that's...
So you watch as Val just breathes in and then... And you just quickly duck out the way.
For 2.
Cool.
2 damage.
Impressive roll.
When it takes him to take a hammer to the knee.
By the way, what is everyone else doing while this is going on? Are you guys just watching?
I'm just
Yeah.
watching and rapt attention because I want to capture it in my perspective, so it's in the diary.
Okay.
So I
Alright.
can tell Bosun. Well, not tell Bosun, but tell Gunter about it.
Yeah, Bosun's hovering around watching all of this. Okay, Xandal, your turn.
Okay. He's going to, almost at a shock to himself, he's going to make an attack with his light hammer, but he's adding a spell to it.
Okay.
Not so much a spell, a cantrip.
I mean, it's still magic, technically.
Yeah. It's more that he isn't aware that he's doing it straight off the bat.
Oh, I know what you mean. So you feel your right hand, that sigil underneath your glove, pulse as it feels your adrenaline rushing.
Yeah.
And you feel it, heat up and transfer something from your hand into the hammer.
Yeah. So that would be the attack roll, a 14.
Nope.
Which I'm assuming is a miss. Okay. And then second one, 24.
That hits.
Okay. So that's the primary damage.
3.
And if you move,
If I move what?
you take booming blade.
Is that if I move this turn? Or move at all?
Hold on. Booming blade.
Yeah.
Is...
So if the target willingly moves 5 feet or more before the next turn, you take the thunder damage.
I mean, at the moment we're just doing whack for whack, so I've got no reason to move.
Okay.
Do we, as spectators, notice this, or is it so subtle we don't see it because it doesn't connect? Or
it does connect, and you notice as there is this rippling force around Xandal's hammer, but it's very, very hard to see. But when it connects with Val, again you see this rippling force transfer from the hammer to Val's body, and it's rippling around him, but it doesn't look like it's damaging him at the moment.
And you can almost see a very confused look on Xandal's face.
I think Talia's probably confused as well. What is he doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, currently the ripples around Val don't look to be hurting him. They're just there. Okay, Val, your turn.
15?
15 misses.
23?
23 will hit.
I forgot you could
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. And DM, can I put smite into that?
Yeah.
Isn't
What
that
level?
magic?
Level 3 smite.
Level 3 smite, so that is 4d8
Yeah.
extra damage, radiant damage.
I thought you guys weren't allowed to use magic. Isn't that cheating?
It's controlled magic, essentially.
Basically, they're not allowed to use attack spells.
Yeah.
Oh,
In this
my
way,
God,
what Val is just doing is channeling power down a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be 27, yeah?
Yep. So that's a hefty hit.
Ow.
Bang. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any bonus action, or is that it?
I'm concentrating on Shield of Faith, so
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you did get hit, so you need to make me a con save to check your concentration on it.
yeah, okay. $24.
Yep, you're fine.
Yeah.
All right, Xandal, your turn.
Okay, realizing that he's probably going to have to be smarter than just hit the big guy.
It's at this point Bosun, who's been floating around, floats by your ear, Xandal, and goes, like, sort of whispers into your ear. You know, I can give you a hand if you want, laddie.
What's up? And then, boop, he just kind of like says, shut up for a moment, and then just bang,
Okay.
vanishes.
So Xandal vanishes. Not that it's going to help him, because Val has blind sight.
Yeah. The thing is Xandal doesn't actually know this.
No.
So he's going to use this opportunity to try and back off.
Val, you
do I
get an attack of opportunity.
Yes!
Yeah, I am not just going to do an attack of opportunity. I'm going to use Relentless Avenger on you and use half my movement, which does mean that I take the damage, to basically go around the other side of you, stopping you in your track. And I'm going to hit you with Mortimer's Lance.
Okay, so
But
you
it does
take
nothing.
the
15.
15, yeah.
Yeah,
And a 12 misses.
yeah. But I'm now the other side of you. I've
Yeah.
basically...
Your retreat.
Xandal kind of like looks, and it's now that he's realizing that you are looking directly at him and there is no escaping.
Well, it's
Everyone
more
else
like
is just like,
it's more.
no.
It's more. You see Val close his eyes,
Yeah.
and he's still facing directly at you.
Mm.
He's not using his eyes anymore. He's using like sound and the feelings of like air distortions. And if he was stood on the deck, he'd be using vibrations from the deck. He's using all of that to gauge your location.
Okay.
Is it onto my turn, or are you doing a bonus action?
I'm going to...
I mean,
That's all I can do.
Xandal, you can still move. Like, he's cut you off,
Yeah.
but it's not Sentinel. It doesn't get rid of your movement.
Okay. So he's going to come over
Would
here.
would that stack? If I moved in front of him and then he moved away again, would that stack as another?
you
No,
only
because
get
I only get
one
one
reaction.
reaction.
One reaction per round.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Relentless Avenger's good for like blocking someone in a doorway or something,
Yeah.
because they can't move through your space. But in an open area, it's not as good.
Okay, so he's now more than 10 foot away from me, isn't he?
He is, yes. It's now your turn, Val. But you did know which direction he went.
Okay. So I'm going to use some of my movement to move in that direction, see if I can pick him up again.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah, you definitely do.
yep. As soon as you're within 10 feet, you can hear his breathing. You can feel the vibrations of his boots on the deck.
Okay, do I want to try and do anything else that I've just not had chance to do yet?
You just might as well experiment and learn a bit more about your character.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, definitely.
That's what sparring's good for.
Yeah, I know I've definitely got spells that I have never used. Because I never
Think if there's anything I...
Yeah.
I've got a few things I've never done before, I think.
I mean, again, if any of you want to butt in on this, feel free.
I'm not attacking, it's a 1v1, that's dishonourable.
I've got spells, so mind you, I could use the
Sandal's not challenged me, so...
I feel like it's a one-on-one thing.
Yeah. Actions. What else have I got? It's not a creature, so that doesn't count.
I mean, he is a creature.
I'm a creature.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a humanoid.
Oh,
He's a
creatures.
humanoid creature.
Okay. I'm gonna channel. No, that's a That's not an offensive or defensive spell. That's something else. I'm just gonna thwack.
Okay. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
Yep.
Hey, Jinx.
Nat 20.
Jinx.
Oh,
no.
Shit!
So, by the way, guys, I'm introducing a new Nat 20 rule.
Okay.
It's not anything drastic, but basically, I've gotten fed up of you guys if you roll really shitty, and it's really shitty. So if you roll ones on your damage dice, I am allowing you to re-roll them on crits.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it feels like the crit is really underwhelming if you roll, like, 2
Lower than
nat
what you would in a
ones.
standard attack.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
oh no, let him
That's
keep
fair.
it. I want him to keep it. He's allowed to showboat with that.
No, he's not saying he can't have a nat
Yeah.
20. He's
Yeah.
just saying that,
Yeah,
if you...
just if he rolls ones
rolls
on the damage
ones,
dice,
yeah.
he can
Yeah.
re-roll them.
Cool.
He
So
hasn't rolled damage yet. And he didn't roll the
that's the
ones, so-
first bit of damage. Then level 2 smite in that as well, which is 2d8.
How are you doing this?
3d8.
How are you doing this?
3d8.
This is where you waste all of your spells and then we get attacked by a kraken.
11,
That's another 15.
41 damage in total. Oh, you can re-roll that one if you want.
Are
rolled
you
a
still
1.
are you still
was
going
the-
to be up
Oh
after
no,
this?
I'm down.
I thought that was the
I am
additional damage
down.
for smite, not the
Yeah,
the
but
crit
that
damage.
crits as well.
Oh,
Any dice you roll on a crit, including smite.
Yeah.
This is why paladins are strong. If you
Oh,
crit,
right,
you
okay.
you could literally just throw a smite on it, and all your smite damage is doubled.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Val is just basically gonna, with his offhand initially, is just gonna grab him in like his space and just go, "You told me not to hold back." Swing Mortimer round, and just straight attack down. No flourish, just straight hit.
Are you
And
going lethal or non-lethal?
non-lethal.
Lethal.
He's not trying to kill him.
Living
Jesus.
too.
Fucking hell.
Xandal,
Non-lethal, and then also because he's right on the edge of the boat. As I hit, I'm going to make sure that I grab him to make sure he doesn't fall off the boat.
okay. So, as Xandal, you feel the spear hit your head, just like the haft, and your vision goes black, and you just pass out. Val, make me a perception check.
Yeah. That's where I see nothing.
What's in it?
Too far into the fight.
14.
14.
14. For just the briefest moment as Xandal, like, goes limp, for just a second his eyes snap back open and they're a glowing gold before closing again.
Do I see this? From where I am?
Roll a perception check. Val got a chance to, like, disadvantage though because of where you are and how they're stood.
That's alright, I wasn't that one. I saw that one. I'm going to bother rolling
Val-
again.
Val-
You just see like Xandal pop back into like vision, just like unconscious, like
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah, Val got a chance, like a really good chance because he's
Yeah, that's fair.
literally in Xandal's face,
Yeah,
effectively.
that's
in
fair. I
that.
wasn't expecting to, like, have advantage or anything. It's just
And then,
on the off
as-
chance I could see anything.
as I've kind of pulled him away from the edge, he's in my hands anyway. He's going to get 15 lay on hands.
Okay.
And he's going to come back
You-
to consciousness.
Yeah, you snap back into consciousness. A couple of your like bruises like heal up, and you just sort of like, ugh.
Hi.
I'll just kind of run over and look over Val's shoulder. Xandal, what was the point of this spar? Like,
So I can learn. Thank you. He kind of just sort of like picks up
thank
his
you
hammer
for
and
kicking
just
your ass.
wanders off again.
Hager like joins you as you did. He'd stayed out of it, sensing that you didn't want him helping.
This was more a sort of like a motion of pride more than
Yeah.
anything.
But Hager
So,
follows
yeah.
you. Emily quickly tacks on, carrying a plate of like salt beef.
Have a cookie. You just got your ass kicked.
Xandal, you are wounded. You need food.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Val
What- what's
is
that for?
going to give him a little bit of time because he kind of understands, and then go down and have a chat with him.
Okay.
So I don't know if
All right.
anybody wants to do anything else, or we can jump straight to that.
I'd probably just
Was
go to
entertaining?
dinner and be
Right,
like,
I'll carry on. That's what I was doing. Yeah.
Xandal actually
Imagine
went for
everyone's
what?
like that. This is exciting.
Bosun just sort of floats over to Vienna, and Talia and Blossomer sort of goes, "What was that all about?"
I have no idea, Bosun. I'm very curious. I'll leave it to Val. He'll go talk to him or something. If it's a bit out of character for Xandal.
All right. I'll just keep sailing the ship then, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't think anyone else wants to spar or anything. I don't think so.
I mean-
Maybe another day.
I mean, I would, but he throws a punch and it just passes through your chest, Talia, and he goes, "Eh," and just flies off.
Vienna.
Yes.
He was just trying to punch me, alright? He wasn't trying to cop a feel.
Maybe a bit of both.
I'm a ghost who lived at the bottom of the ocean for a couple of 100 years. What do you think?
I'm not lonely.
Yeah, it's probably a bit lonely. Sailors and all that.
Also, I'm a ship.
gonna
I
ghost-
don't really have a sex.
Right, that's a weird conversation.
I mean, there's an anchor.
Anchors away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we probably give Xandal about an hour, Val,
Yeah.
and then you head down.
And Val's just
Probably
gonna like
workshop, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and Val's just
Yeah.
gonna either find like a stall or just sit on the floor and just look at him and wait for him to say something.
Other than for figuring things out, how useful am I to you?
We all have different skill sets, Xandal. We don't all have to hit hard.
I'm fed up of being put on my ass. How can I protect anyone if I'm constantly being protected?
You got us out of the situation with Glacarex. You were able to completely sort that deal out at the end, and we were able to come away with the item that we needed. We've had situations where there have been items that we don't know and that could have blown us to pieces, and you've been able to identify it and make sure it's safe for us. There are other ways of doing things and other skills. And you also fight, and you've got Hager. You don't have to be the hardest hitting to still make an effect.
I just feel like I've been brought into your group. I feel like I should be more than just I create this and I fix that. I feel like I should be as useful as you guys.
You are. But if there is something that you want to work on yourself, if there's something you want to be better at, sure, we'll train. If you want to become stronger and actually just be a fisticuff fighter, I'll help. But I couldn't do half of the things that you do. Your brain is one of your biggest assets, and I couldn't do half of the stuff that you do. And he kind of just gets up and kind of pats him on the shoulder a little bit, and then goes to walk out, unless Xandal says anything different.
He kind of just sits there quietly, almost sort of like mulling over the words. It's definitely like it's known that with the amount of time like Xandal spends getting healed in combat, it's sort of like his pride's been wounded quite a bit. So yeah,
You
it's
hit things in battle.
that is true.
Oh,
I was going to say, you can't actually
just
do
you
quite
hit
well.
myself up over it. Not easy anyway.
I remember some big hits before.
Yeah.
In fact, if anyone should be worried, it's me, because I hit for shit. And I'm the one who shouts the most. But, oh yeah, I'm well hard. Oh.
You're well out from a distance.
Yeah. Come fight me over here.
From over there.
Okay. So, anyone else would like to accomplish, or is everyone going to go rest?
Kind of want to talk to Blossom.
Yeah, go ahead.
you up in the crow's nest still, or are you on top deck?
no.
Hey, Blossom.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, we don't really talk that much. In fact, you don't really talk that much. We don't know much about you. I'm kind of interested, like, where did you hail from? How did you, you know, that scary thing you do, like, how did that come about? I'm curious.
It's quite a story.
I'm all ears.
For the most, I've lived more or less wild, in the wilderness. Fought to get by. Tend to get a bit too far out of my depth. Came across something like me.
What, like a
And,
cat?
uh,
I mean, a tabaxi?
no. The
The scary
form
side?
I take is a curse. One
Oh,
that not many have much control over.
what, like
I
the thing you do with blood? Did you, like a curse of the blood?
That's a separate part of it, but that's how I've controlled it. I became afflicted and refused to submit. I trained hard to keep my wits about me, and
Turned a curse into a blessing?
yes,
It's been pretty nifty in a few fights.
it is.
You're not gonna, like, go crazy and eat us at any point.
No,
Like,
it's under
definitely
control.
control it. That's good to know. Right, well, I think I've bothered you enough.
If
Have a
there's
good day.
anything else you want to know, I'm
I'll
willing
think
to-
about it. Alright. I'll leave you to whatever it is you were doing. I'll go and, like, go to, like, the front, just watch the waves or something.
Okay. Alright. The evening passes uneventfully, and you all go to your own respective rests, swaying with the sound of the waves. As the dawn comes the next morning, on the third day of your sailing, as you are now passing the Bay of Maham, so close to home, yet having to sail straight past.
Just kind of wave as we go by.
If someone could roll the d20 for today's travel, please.
Shall I do today's?
Go for it.
Sure. Do we get a long rest and bonus
Yes,
hit
you all
points again?
got long rests. Yes, and
Is
your
it,
bonus hit point.
how many bonus hit points is it? It's per level, isn't
One
it?
per character level.
1 per character, so 9 temporary hit points. Okay.
So 6. Okay. Okay. This is an interesting one.
I've also just realised how ominous it is, the fact that I have both a kraken and a megalodon on posters right behind my head. I'm like jinxing it.
Predicting the future, more like.
You guys
Don't give the DM
Pass.
ideas.
you pass through the Bay of Maham, and you'll go sort of just past Moontide, and you're going through a series of islands just off the coast there. Sort of these ones here. If you're on, you're not on the map, are you?
on the-
Why
we're
am I
still on the ship.
indicating? Yeah. So it's just some sort of islands that are on the southern side of Maham. As you're passing through this sort of natural bay amongst a couple of islands, if everyone again could make me perception checks, see what you notice.
Snapshot.
For 28. Let's go.
You're all complaining that you were rolling low.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, everyone rolls like 10 below. Oh, 11 below.
Yeah, last one.
Okay. So, Talia, Blossom, and Emily are the only ones who noticed this. Talia, most of all, Blossom, you notice on one of the islands as you're sailing by, there is what looks like structures, like ruins, just peeking out amongst some of like this jungle-like foliage. Talia, you glance around and realize 4 of the islands around you have these structures on.
Structures? What structures did my brain just be like? "Brr"?
From this distance, you can see like they look like buildings, not massive. The main thing that catches your attention, in all honesty, yeah, you would, with a nat 20 and a 28, you would spot that on each of them there is these structures, and then on a slight rise on each of the islands, just poking above the tree lines, you can see the top of what look like pillars, sort of like made out of some form of marble.
Interesting. Guess I'll go and point them out to everyone. There's some weird, like, pillar things on these islands. It's very odd. Want to check it out?
So far, the 2 areas we've looked at have given us something promising. Let's go have a look.
Sure. Bosun, putting us a
Aye.
little closer. I
Aye,
want to see what this is.
Alright, which island?
Might as well go to the nearest one first.
Yeah, nearest one. Why not?
As you sort of look, the ship is currently in the middle, equidistant, and again, north, south, east, west. The
Oh,
4
okay.
compass points, and they're all pretty much equidistant from each other, these 4 islands.
Do we have like a rowboat? Like some
Aye.
small vessel we can take to one of the islands if you stay here
Aye.
in the middle?
Quickly, you watch as he goes to the back of the ship, and you can see it doesn't look seaworthy. It's the same as the ferry. It's like sort of covered in a light slime and barnacles, and
I think we just kind of
wood.
trust that it floats because the ship
Yeah.
floats and it doesn't look like it should, so...
He lowers it down, and it floats on the surface.
Alright, what
have
should
a
we
harpoon?
do?
Is that a harpoon
Well,
rowboat or just a standard
No,
Or
rowboat?
cannon
no
rowboat.
harpoon. No, just the
No
rowboat.
cannon? No lantern? No, okay.
There is enough room for all of you, but there would not be enough room for Haggett and Emily as well.
I mean, we're just going to look. You should be fine without Emily, right? She can catch us up. She can swim, right?
Yeah, Emily can just jump in and swim with you if you want her to.
Yeah. Let's bring Emily and we'll leave Haga. Yeah. Is that
Emily
okay with you,
just sort of-
Xandal?
That's
I'm
fine.
assuming.
Xandal
Alright.
can help prepare the ship if we need to leave.
Okay.
Wait, you're not coming with us?
Haga can help prepare.
Oh, right.
prepare.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
What
I'm like, what?
You watch
need
as
your brain.
Emily like swan dives off the edge of the ship, transforming into her swimming mode as she does, and just whoosh across the waves.
Right, guess we'll go to that one, and then she will just like west
West.
from the middle.
Speaking of which, just because of Emily's aquatic navigator ability,
Mhm.
does she notice anything out of the ordinary within the water?
Oh, that's a point, yeah.
Interesting. She got a 26. I'll use that same 26. The 4 islands are all connected. Like there is land that flows underneath, like that goes underneath the ocean. Like if the
Yeah.
ocean was lower, this would be a ring of islands, not like a ring island, like a donut-shaped island. These are just the highest points of this ring of land.
Okay. So when we're able to meet up, hopefully she'll convey that to us.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's going
You
to
guys-
take more than 10 minutes to go from the boat to the first island.
It's not that far. You like the distance between the islands is probably about, I'd say, 500 feet.
I mean, it's a rowboat.
Yeah. Well, a rowboat can go about 30 feet around, so
Okay.
it's going to take you 25 rounds to get 250 feet, which would be the distance to any of them because you're equidistant between them.
Okay. So not enough time for me to get my seahorse.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately not. Not whilst rowing. So you guys make it to the island and the rowboat you sort of bring the rowboat up onto the shore. And these islands they're not tropical. There's like these jungle there, but it's not like tropical heat. You're not quite that far south yet. But it is still very lush and overgrown. And you can see the remains of these like crudely done clay buildings, but then in the very center on this slight rise is this white marble pillar.
Okay.
The islands themselves aren't massive. They're probably only about half a mile across. They're not very big. You sort of walk maybe a minute from the beach and you're in the forest, and then you're at the nearest of these dilapidated ruined structures, and then from there it's another 5 minutes to up this hill to this marble pillar.
There's no form of inscription or pictures or
It's
anything.
like solid marble, or
On the pillar there is, now that you're closer, but it is not language.
pictures, symbols,
You can see
or just patterns.
symbols of mountains, of what looks like boulders, of what looks like lush trees and grass carved into this pillar.
Wonder what it is.
Wonder if they're all the
Emily
same.
at
on
this
every
point
island.
comes up and goes, all of these islands are connected under the ocean. It is one ring. These are just the 4 highest points.
Like a summoning circle or something? Oh, it's not it's not like to another realm or anything, is it? That would be not a good idea.
I am not sure.
You make anything out about this marble pillar with the patterns on M?
Emily sort of walks up to it and looks it over, presses a hand against it. This feels like it is magical. It requires something to activate. I am unsure what.
Think we should go and have a look at one of the other islands?
Yeah, see if they're different. Let's check all of them out. Maybe there'll be a clue if we see them all.
After rowing,
Makes sense.
which is the next island you're going to go to?
The circle, go north,
Yeah,
then
clockwise.
east, then south.
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of making you row to one, tell you what's there, row to another, I'll tell you what's there. I'm just going to say you guys make a full circle, and each island is similar to the last. These dilapidated sort of clay building ruins, and then the white marble pillars. But each pillar is different. On the north pillar, there are inscriptions of flames, ashes, and
This is
glowing
what I was checking.
embers.
I thought it might be elements.
The
Plains.
eastern island.
This is a plains portal.
The eastern island is clouds and blowing winds and crackling lightning. And the southern island is flowing water, waves, and ice inscripted upon the pillar.
Is
think
everything
it's got
around the pillars the same pretty much? They're all surrounded by the same
They're
thing.
all
Yeah, like,
surrounded
what
by
about
these
the
same
ruins, like?
structures. The ruins are all exactly the same, but the ruins themselves look, though they are ruined and like falling apart, you can tell that they're younger than the pillars. The pillars were here first, and then these buildings were made around them.
I wonder what it is. I feel like
How much
portals.
between us do we know about sort of like the the outer plains and the plains that live between the plains, etc. So, like,
We
the
definitely know
land
about the
between
plane of water.
Yeah, you've all been
Yeah,
to the
we know
plane of water.
about the plane of water, but would any of us be educated enough to know, sort of like, that there's an area between, like, the plane of water and the plane of fire, like the eternal.
So, the only one of you who would know that would be Xandal. You would know about the elemental
Okay.
plane.
Yeah. I would explain pretty much all my knowledge on, or as much of my knowledge as I can recall at that point on that. Seeing as it came to a conclusion that it's the elemental planes that are at play here.
I wonder whether it's like a portal. Hey, what was that guy with the grand race? You don't suppose this is something Azovius made, and it's like... Wait, the race has probably been and gone by now, I would have thought. We never really
Forgotten
looked
all
into it
about
any
the race.
further.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And the issue is each plane is much larger than we'd give it credit for. It's essentially an extension of our world, just elsewhere.
I think maybe this is something we should mark on a map to investigate later, but I feel like this is probably not something we should be messing with till we know more.
Yes.
Right now. No.
I can, when we get back to
The ship?
no,
Or Maham?
Maham.
Maham, we can perchance mention it to Ragnarvale. He may know some information on it.
And there's the library as well.
These,
There is the library.
maybe these are one of those unexplored islands. Didn't, what was that, Silver Dragonborn pilot? She was
Daxel.
saying about Daxel.
Daxel
Yeah,
flew in.
Daxel was talking about exploring unexplored islands. Maybe she might know something about it. Maybe it's one of the islands that she wants to investigate, and we could bring them aboard and come look at it. Make some gold.
Having been on the ship, do we know if there's like some kind of map that's on the ship that is tracking where we are, or nothing like
There
that?
is no map on the ship.
We've got Blossom's map, I guess, but that probably will just change as soon as we get to Maham, and then it'll be the map of that area, won't it? Because it's not it's not like you can just open a new tab and be like, right, now map this area.
Yeah, no, it lasts for a number of days.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure we can
is it 30
remember where
in
it
any
is.
direction, or a mile in any direction, something like that?
It maps where
Well, it's
you've
just
been.
below Maham anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, we can probably remember where this is from.
Yeah.
Let's come back later.
Yeah, messing with the planes without knowing what we're going to be doing. It's
We're never going to get to Minas Pengoli if we keep...
Stopping for every...
if we do
yeah.
that.
Okay. So
Okay.
you guys make your way back to the ship. Emily, like, flowing ahead of you through the water and launching herself back on. As you get back, ropes are lowered and the rowboat is pulled back, tied back into position. And you guys sail away from this area further along the coast. Nothing else eventful seems to happen that day. And you guys spend an enjoyable day learning more about sailing. And when evening comes, you all settle down. Is there anything anyone wants to accomplish? Or is it just a case of going to rest and considering what you saw that day?
Probably talk about it for a bit and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
Alright. The new day dawns, and the bells ring from the ship, alerting you all that you are needed top deck to continue sailing. Who's rolling a d20 today?
Go on then.
Who does?
Fourth day of travel. Number
17.
Ooh, I don't think we had
Ooh.
17
the
yet.
number of the
We
Kraken.
haven't.
Oh, ooh.
Okay.
Ah,
Well, so, as you continue sailing onwards, the day is pleasant, the wind is good, and you are making good progress. Round about mid-afternoon, would you all be on top deck at this point?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
If it's
Yeah,
nice out.
helping out.
Yeah.
As you are helping out, you hear a voice call out, "Hail! Hail, ship!"
Go over to the side of the ship and have a look.
You look down and you see, keeping pace with the ship, admittedly only just, there is a merman who's sort of keeping pace with the ship. An older-looking merman, got a good-sized beard, lank green hair coming off of his head, holding what looks to be a scrap of almost like ship wood in his hands. He goes, "Hail! I've had to ask a few ships, but is there someone called Valdizian Thunderbone there? A bronze dragonborn I'm looking for."
That's
Val,
with
like,
me.
Lean over, be like, "Val!"
Yo!
Thank goodness. And he sort of
Again, I'm waiting for the Skyrim. Your hands only.
he goes, could you possibly slow your ship, please?
Bosun,
but
slow down!
Slow.
Bosun slows the ship down, bringing it to not full halt, but coasting, and the merfolk is now able to keep pace a bit easier. He goes, thank you. What?
Catch your breath.
I bear a message from Frauduim. He asked me for a favor. He said to find, yourself, Valdizian Thunderbone.
That's me.
He
Thunderbone,
says
I'll
that
just snicker about it.
when you have a spare moment, he requests that he needs some aid with an issue.
When I have some moments, is it like how urgent?
This is not pressing, I do not believe. He would not
Okay.
tell me of what the issue was, but he said to find you and pass on that he would at least like you to come and hear him out when you have time.
Okay.
This should be fun.
As soon as we get back from where we're going, when we're back to Maham.
We're going to Minas Pengoli. You can tell Frodoin that.
Very well, I will return and tell Lord Frauduim that is where you are headed.
And as soon as we're back to Maham, I will seek him out and I'll hear him out. If that's,
very well,
if that's his
Fiona,
request.
Xandal, you're in for a treat.
Who's this guy?
You'll see when we meet him. He's a very interesting fellow. Kind of a patron of ours, really. He's kind of how... He kind of gave us the funds to get started as an adventuring party. In a way. He's very friendly. Try not to be alarmed when you meet him, though. He's not... He's friendly. I'll just say
And
that. I'll leave
If
it as a
he
surprise.
needs us back more
We're in a
urgently,
party with a cat, an undead, a dragon, dark elf, and me.
I'll just snicker when he says dragon, but not say anything.
I
You'll
mean,
be surprised,
what can be
Xandal.
weird?
Be surprised.
The merfolk goes, "I have delivered the message, I will take my leave now," and just
Okay.
turns and dives into the ocean.
thank you very much.
Right. Well, not heard from Frodoin in a while, hey Val?
No, not since. And
Long time
his mind goes back and he's trying to work out because so much has happened since he's seen Frodoin.
I mean, didn't we have Amakir and
The last time you saw Frauduim was when you tried to give him the Rod of Foul Authority.
Oh yeah.
When you were on your way back from the Luminous Labyrinth.
Yeah. So that was quite a way.
And he warned us that there was stuff going on in the sea as well. So
Yeah, but that was.
Yeah.
I think that was warning us about Vodoed.
yeah,
He warned you about that, saying that he
That was
could not get
foreshadowing
involved.
that we didn't at the time know was
Yeah,
foreshadowing.
he said he couldn't get involved in that because it
Yeah.
was between the land and the sea, and he couldn't be seen to be picking sides.
Yeah.
cool. Another side quest.
Good times.
Put that up in my tab. Main quest, side quests.
Hang on. I'll add it to my notes.
Gather
I'm supposed to
700
complete
eggs.
all the side quests before the main
Oh,
quest.
dear.
Technically, Minas Pengoli's a side quest, so
Yeah, dragon paid. Shit. Sorry. Fucking don't read your notes out loud when you're writing them. You'll see.
Anyway, as the ship sails on and night begins to fall, and you all go to your rest, some of you thinking about the mysterious patron who has contacted you. That's where we're going to end tonight's session. I hope everyone has enjoyed a very roleplay heavy session with a little bit of combat, a little bit of a duel, some secrets beginning to come in, people not knowing things, shenanigans, fun things for the DM, mwahaha. But I hope everyone has enjoyed. Hopefully, we're hoping our next session will be normal on the 21st. If it's not, obviously keep your eyes on Twitter, Discord, all that sort of stuff. We'll keep you updated as to when we will next be playing. But until the next session, guys, everyone stay safe, enjoy your own games, enjoy gaming in general, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ta!
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.